Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comforts together because it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meech.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech.
Darling.
And hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello to all of my tea sippers, my crumpet dunkers, my tea brewers, my pot stirrers, and my tea leaf readers. Honey, it's another glorious day, my darlings. And I know you have all of your crumpets together because, honey, you know what time it is, honey. It's time to dish tea, and you are dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meech. What's up? Oh, child, well, I ain't. Wait a minute, let me sip. All right. Yeah, it's a rough one for me. Now, last night, we had a birthday party last night. That's how come we wasn't on the air. We had an event, and the girls from Shiro Hero, honey, shout out to Miss Kawanda, aka Miss Trouble over there from Shiro Hero. We had it was her birthday, and so we went out to Lips, the drag restaurant here in Atlanta, and we went to go have dinner and things and catch the show and things. So we were on the late show, the 11:30 show, which was fantastic, honey. The girls were absolutely lovely, and it was absolutely just a wonderful time. So a lot of my voice and stuff, we just screamed and yelled and carried on and all of that. But also, you know, I'm trying to stay awake. I was up for a little minute. Haji, if you're watching, honey, I'm just really getting up because I've been in and out of sleep all day. I had a 4 o'clock appointment that I missed because you see, I got dressed, honey. I got dressed, ready to go, honey. I'm sitting up here. Y'all know usually I don't wear pants when I'm on camera. I don't tell y'all that, but y'all know I don't, right? So I'm sitting up here. I am fully dressed because I was supposed to be going out and just could not pull it together, honey. Miss Coffee Couch got the best of me. You hear me? Let me lower that down just a little bit. I'm trying to get this right because I'm not framed right, but that's because of the backdrop. That we just going through. So I missed my appointment. I called my friend. I was like, listen, honey, I don't mean to be ghosting you. I know I feel like I'm ghosting you, but that's not what this is. I cannot seem to stay awake. How'd you call me? Need me to do something for him? I said, okay, but honey, I'm having problems staying awake. He said, you tired and you need some rest. He said, so when you get up and running, just call me. So he sent me the address and stuff where he wanted me to run for him. I'm like, okay. And I just couldn't pull it together. So, and I told him, I said, well, you know, we got the show. I got to do the show. So I'm here because I just have not been able to get out of this house since I've been in here. So because of that, my darling, it is all of that. It is all of that. In addition, I know that I'm possibly physically reacting to stress and depression. And the reason why I say that is because yesterday, I have found out that a really, really, really good sister friend of mine, this is my BRISTAH honey, Miss MICHIEE DEVALE out of Detroit, Michigan. Many of you may have known her around Detroit. She self-identified herself as eunuch. Okay, she's like, honey, I'm both male and female, honey. And um, she was just a wonderful, 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 wonderful person. Um, when she was living here, she had moved down here to Atlanta, and probably the first month of her being here, she was there with someone else. It wasn't working. And then she was so far out away from civilization, child, she really couldn't get into the city. So she called me up. She said, girl, can I come and stay with you? And I was a little hesitant at the time, but nonetheless, I let her come and I let her stay with her. She was down here with me for like 2 years. Okay. And we had grown and had bonded in ways, honey, that I didn't think were ever possible. So she really became my sister, you know? And because her name was Michie, I'm Big Meat, so it was Big Meat and Little Meat, right? And then my neighbor used to call us the Michies, like we were some kind of group. Oh, it's the Michies. Ooh. And um she's a very spiritual person. And I showed her how to tap into some things spiritually so that she can grow. And you know, we were doing this, that, and the other with back and forth with one another. We would meditate and get into these real spiritual cleansing rituals and stuff that we would do around the house, even to cleanse the house or whatever. Uh, uh, yeah, that there was her, but she passed Friday night, and it was sudden, and I'm just numb to it all because I'm just not wanting to believe it or accept it yet. In addition to now, today happens to be the anniversary of my brother's passing. On this day, 8 years ago, my brother passed. Okay, now I'm sure I know I've said the story before, but this time 8 years ago, my family was preparing for me to pass because I had an emergency surgery. I was in New York, and I ended up having to have an emergency surgery, and they were losing me on the table. Um, and what it was, I had a blockage in my intestinal tract, and that there was caused from a complication that I had with the gastric sleeve surgery. I told you I had a bunch of surgeries, and the gastric sleeve was one of them to prepare me for the total abdominal reconstruction surgery that I had. So I had to lose a lot of weight quickly in order to prepare for this surgery, and I did not want it. But the gastric caused a complication, which was a blockage in my intestinal tract, and that blockage caused my intestines to gangrene. And because of that, yeah, I was slowly dying and did not know it. And I ended up having to have emergency surgery. Well, they were losing me on the table, so they had to call my mom to get permission from my next of kin because they had to put this stent in my artery in my neck. Okay. Because I don't know why, I guess all of my veins and stuff were collapsing and all of that. And they needed to get right to my blood vessels and things to get the blood going and all of that. So uh my family was preparing for me. But what ended up happening was my brother was at work, and they told me he was taking out the trash. And as he was taking out the trash, he just dropped. And, you know, they couldn't revive him and stuff. He, you know, he was pronounced DOA at the hospital and whatever. And we had come to find out after they had done the autopsy that my brother had a bad heart. And after his passing was when we started to find out that heart disease is a family trait. So my brother was 39 when he passed. He would have been 40 that year, that coming October. And so instead of me leaving up out of here, it was my brother. And I don't say this a lot, but sometimes I feel a lot of guilt because of that. And which is why it is important that everything that I do from this point on, all of my birthdays that I celebrate for the both of us, because he's not here to see them, you know? So this has been, it's hard to believe that it's 8 years. And a lot of it too is, I know my body is still healing, if you will. A lot of the stuff that I go through and stuff are residual side effects and stuff from a lot of the surgeries. My energies and stuff are not together. On top of me aging, you know, these are residuals from a lot of the surgeries because I done had between August 2012 and March 2013, I have had 6 major procedures. Okay. And then that was 2013. And then in 2015, I ended up having the abdominal reconstruction. So I had to go back up under to do what they started to do and blah, blah, blah. So it took a minute, okay, for me to get here. And all of the cutting and all of the this and all of the that, um, uh, all of that has really got me to a place where, I know part of this is physical depression that my body is going through. My house will tell it. If y'all come over here, y'all will know it. Okay. Um, but it's been 8 years. And I'm so busy. Part of it too is when I think about it, I always think about my brother's passing, but I don't give myself time to celebrate the fact that I'm still here because I almost died, you know? And so because of that, there's a little guilt there that I feel. When my mother said this, it still haunts me and there's nothing I could do about it because she always tells me, you never know what your brother's prayer was. And that takes me out of here. Okay. Because I always go to what they teach us in traditional church that, how much does someone love you but to lay down their life for you, you know? And I always go to, well, Lord, you know how we always say the prayer, Lord, take me instead, and that's the only thing I hear, those two things I hear in my head whenever I reminisce on that. But my brother was a wonderful man. He used to get on my goddamn because I'm the firstborn, so he was 3 years under me. And he used to be on my goddamn nerves. Okay, when we were growing up, we not necessarily tumultuous, but we were just brothers, And I wish we were a little bit closer than what we were. However, I had set myself apart because I helped my mother raise my siblings. So, I was in a disciplinary position. And so I wanted to maintain some kind of boundary so that they kept their respect for me. But then as they became teenagers, I had to loosen it because my sisters were quick to tell me, honey, you're not my father, you're my brother. And when they got to that point, I was like, ooh, okay, I had to let go a little bit because they were coming into their own, and this, that, and the other. And that was a hard lesson for me because hell, like I said, I helped my mother raise them. Shit. Mama doing what she had to do to keep the house together, working, hustling, whatever. I'm there, cooking, cleaning, helping change diapers, I'm doing all that. So it became frustrating and hard and this, that, and the other. So not being able to go to my brother's funeral still is a stickler in my side because I was in the hospital and tubed up, the child. I'm all on everything, honey. I had the tube down my throat and this, that, and that. No, I'm sorry. That was in the beginning. My mother didn't tell me that my brother passed because the day that they had taken the tube out, I was on a ventilator. When they had taken that off me, um, that was when my mother called and told me because she didn't want me to read it on Facebook. Because she said, I know as soon as they took you off that thing that you were going straight to your phone. Because I was telling them, well, I'm good, I'm okay. This is what's going on. I was, all of that, trying to text when I was able to text and was strong enough to text because I had to learn my motor skills all over. And so my mother called to tell me. And so it has just been just a wave. And then to know that Michie just died yesterday, child. It's a funk. And then on the 18th, which is this past Thursday, y'all know I told y'all my cousin had passed back on January 18th. Well, the 18th was her birthday. Okay, she would have been 55. So I got all of this right now. Now, I said God has a cruel sense of humor at times because here's what this is. Y'all know next Sunday starts my birthday celebration, right? We go into my season. Last Saturday, the 13th, was my sister's birthday. My sisters are twins. Okay. So last Saturday was their 44th birthday. So my brother passed in between our birthdays. Okay. So we have this wave of emotions that goes on ever since then. And now it's 8 years. And it's like, wow, what do you do? How do you get over it and all of that? So today is kind of hard because of I mean, I've gotten better with it, but it's still, and I haven't even called my family today because it's one of those days, what do you do? Ain't nothing to say, you know. Um, my road dog, he was texting and talk to my mother and my sisters and things and and this, that, and the other, because my road dog child, he was the one to see me through my hospital stay for the month and a half I was in the hospital. How about that? And yeah. So this is one of those days for me. And I know part of my sleeping spells, I think that's just my body reacting to this because this started maybe a week ago that I'm going through these particular spells like this. And now as I'm thinking about it, I think this is my body reacting to all of this because when I went into the hospital, it was on the 17th of February, 8 years ago. Okay. So that was 2013 when I went in, and I did not see Atlanta again until Easter Sunday, okay, of that year. So it has been 8 years, and it still feels like it's yesterday, you know. So there are moments, and then like I said, with Michie passing, little Meech passing yesterday, or me getting that news yesterday, I'm numb, and I'm kind of like, I'm not necessarily in a phase. It's just that I'm numb. I know what's going on. Everything is cute. I'm in all of my faculties and everything. It's just that my mind is just like, really, you know. So yeah, so that's what today is for me. But I'm thankful that I'm here to see it. This is part of that process. I tell y'all about the process of sandpaper for the soul. Well, honey, this is part of that process. And it's times like this where it lets you know that you're still alive. It lets you know that, honey, as much as I really don't like being human at times because I wish that I could just exist. I wish our spiritual selves were the outer self. you know, so that we could get better understandings and carrying on. Because the human self, honey, gets on my nerves sometimes, and things of that nature. But nonetheless, this is just part of the struggle and part of the process. So, yeah. But next week starts my birthday season, and it's so. And I know a lot of y'all don't. Well, most of y'all won't know this. The reason why I start on February 28th is because that's my uncle's birthday. Okay, my uncle Kenneth. So his birthday is February 28th. And so because he's like the closest person I know to me, in the family, it's like the passing on of the cup, if you will. Okay, here nephew, it's your turn, you the next birthday. So I start on his day to start my season off because we in celebration mode with his birthday. And this year he will be 81. So because he's 10 years older than mama. That's how I keep it. That's how I keep the ages together. So I start because we're already in celebratory mode, and I just carry it on. And I go to April 2nd because I used to do April 1st, but April 1st is April Fool's Day. So I said, how food you? I need one more day. So so I take that, and so I go to April 2nd. So midnight, April 2nd, which becomes April 3rd, is when my birthday season officially ends. Okay. So having said all that, that's what's going on here with me. Um, so in all of that, in fact, starting next Sunday, the Cash App down there, if y'all would like to send gifts, monetary gifts or whatever, you're more than welcome. I will not stop you, child. Okay. So that would be that. But we get all off into that next week. Because I'll give y'all a week. If y'all want to send it early, you can if it's on your heart. I'm gonna let y'all do that. I'm not gonna tell y'all what to send. I'm not gonna whatever. I'm gonna tell y'all whatever. Okay. Um, so be that as it may. Uh, but in any event, let me go to the comments because I see the children are down here. We got Aunt Nikki in the house coming in, big ready to be here in a minute because he's cooking his dinner and things of that nature. I got my nephew down here, old Israel. Is gonna be in the building. Come on up in here. Okay. Okay, Amy is in the house. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Charles, what's going on? Hey, y'all, I just saw The Equalizer. Is it good? The new one with Queen Latifah? I'm hearing that it's cute. Okay, we got Hey Princess, honey. Hey, Amy. Dusty lost his brother 2 years ago to a widowmaker heart attack. Really? 41 years old. I'm so sorry to hear that you also lost your brother at such an awful time as well. Peace, my friend. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate that, love. I appreciate that, love. You never know what your brother's prayer was. Excuse me while I ugly cry, but girl, don't make me. Because that sends me out. That takes me right the fuck on up out of here, honey. And I keep hearing my mother say that in my ear, and it just destroys me because it's like, really? And it just takes me out, girl. It takes me out. And like I say, I know my brother. My brother was one of my biggest cheerleaders. Okay, even though he couldn't stand me, he got on my mother. He got on my last nerve at times. Oh my God! When I say my last nerve, I mean the last one, the very very last one. Okay. Oh, he's a Libra on top of it. So and now catch this, because if y'all are cartoon characters are carrying on, there is a little, I'm gonna call it a meme, but it's a thing where Wonder Woman is standing up to the Hulk and they're about to fight. Well, that was me and my brother. Okay, because my brother thought he was the Incredible Hulk, but he would get that. But when he got mad like that, I swear, honey, he swell up just like that and carry it on. So there were times where, when we fought and carried on, honey, that's what it was. It was Wonder Woman versus the Incredible Hulk. But because I was the oldest, and this is my mindset, and I kept this, and I meant this, and I showed it, there is nothing that came after me up in here that call themselves living in this household, and we call the same woman mama, there's no way anything after me is gonna put my ass up in here. After all the hell I'd have been through raising your ass, there is no way that you would ever whoop my ass. Is that absolute clear? So yeah, we were there. That's how we were. Okay? But you know, and my brother, he was a man's man, honey. 6'7", Yeah. Big old boy. Okay. But that was my brother. So to hear that, just takes me out, honey, because I know he loved me, but every time I hear that, I just go to that. How much would a man love you? Show how he loved you than to lay down his life for you, and that just destroys me. And it's like, wow, okay, wow. And what was interesting, my road dog was sending for him to come to the hospital because my brother lived in Kentucky at the time. My mother couldn't travel because she has sciatic nerve damage in her back, and she couldn't travel. So my road dog was sending for my brother to come to see me and to be with me at the hospital. And he passed. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Hello, good sir. Okay, yes. Hey, yo. Hey, cuz. You said, I can't believe it's been 8 years. I know, honey. I know. I know, child. I know. Me too, I feel so much for you. It's hard to accept things like this when they happen. We always seem to question what we could have done to make things go differently. It's so hard to accept sometimes what our creator has designed for our lives path. Yeah, that is so true. We don't understand it. We don't understand it until the time comes for understanding to intercede. If that makes sense, you know, okay. Hugs and love you guys. I love you back. That's my cousin, y'all. Yeah, that my first cousin. So yeah. Hey, Princess. Hey, friend Amy. Hey, Rob. What's up? Okay. I shut down in sleep mode when I'm dealing with grief. I can't even help it. I just go to sleep. In between ugly crying and starving myself while chugging coffee, that is. I feel for you, means take a mental health day and do some self-care if you can. I'm in between it. I do my little work and carry it on, and I just take a little moment here and there and carry it on. So yeah. I never knew that's why you started on that day. Does Uncle Kiddo know this? I don't know if he knows that or not. I'm not I'm not sure if he knows that, but yeah. Okay. Fellow Pisces here. St. Patrick's Day. That's right. Okay, yes. Okay, I'm coming soon. Okay, Bug, I got you. Okay, it's good. How about that? Pisces and Libra, look out. Baby, I'm trying to told you, honey. I'm trying to told you. Okay. Okay, you sound like Lorraine with the I'm her child, honey. Listen, okay, you understand, honey. Me and listen, I'm completely Miss Essie Lorraine's child. You understand? Mm-mm, completely. Okay, yes, I am. And oh, I know that was going to be a topic that I put up here one day. We never got to it, and that there is when a son grows older and you know that you are becoming your mother. Most of the time we hear that from daughters. Oh my God, I'm turning to my mother. But a lot of us come from single parent households. So how many of you guys out there, gay, straight, or whatever, how many of y'all out there know that you have become your mother? Okay. Listen, in so many ways, I have become Essie Lorraine, honey, to where it is crazy. It is absolutely crazy. I was like, oh my God, I done just became her. Okay, I done just became her. Okay. Hell, he loves to party, so he would so he would get a kick out of it. You know what? He would. He would, with some Francis mixed up in there. Say it, cuz that's our grandmother. Francis is our grandmother, y'all. You think so? Okay. That's good. That was a good one. And I have, you know what? I can't disagree with that. I cannot disagree with it. Y'all come on up in here.
Hey, boo, hey.
Hey, boo, hey.
I can't see the comments, so I want to speak to everybody. I've been coming in the room lately being all rude. I ain't spoke to nobody. Hey, Princess. Hey, Amy. I don't know who else down there. Miss Pat, if you down there. E, you probably cooking something that's being selfish, so I ain't speaking to you right now. You know what? I wanted to say, I needed to say like 3 things to you just in your intro. 1, I'm going to give to you what my grandfather gave to me, and I had to give to Keisha. You feeling guilty about not being at the funeral. You weren't supposed to be there because you wouldn't have been able to handle it.
I know. Listen, and I share this all the time because number one, it is such a joy and a pleasure to know that I have become friends with some of my idols. You know, Sarah Dash from LaBelle, and I told you this before.
I know, I love Miss Sarah.
Sarah Dash from the group LaBelle with Patty and Known and all them. I called her the day of my brother's funeral. It was 4 o'clock in the morning.
I remember you told me about this.
I'm in the hospital bed, honey, and it was just on me. I just felt God just said, call her. And I called her number, and I said, I'm so sorry for calling you this early in the morning, but God just told me to call you right now. Okay. And she said, I know that's God. I said, what do you mean? She said, because I'm the chaplain from my family, and this is the time when I pray. I said, okay. And so I was telling her that, I was upset because I could not get there, and I'm stuck in this hospital bed, and I just can't get there. I said, I can't say goodbye to my brother, and I cannot say goodbye like I want to say goodbye. What I thought what I had wrote something to put in the obituary, it didn't get there because they didn't get it in time to put it in the obituary. And so my sister-in-law was going to read, well, my sister-in-law, because I love my sister. My brother, my sister-in-law, I love Miss Sharon, honey. I thought, she said, I'll read it when we get there, but they had where they had the funeral, they were at the funeral home. Okay. It was so overcrowded to where they had to cut the service because they were running out. They wouldn't let them extend no time. So my words didn't get read. Okay. And I was upset about it and carried on.
But he already heard him. He heard him when you wrote him.
And she told me, and then I was mad because I said, I hope, because I didn't know what mindset my father was going to be in. And I'm like, I'm hoping he not down there cutting up. I said, because if he cut up at this funeral, God, I went to the worst place. And Sarah told me, she said, sweetheart, you're not gonna like what I'm about to say. She said, but I got to give it to you. I said, okay. She said, honey, you are not supposed to be there.
My grandfather said the same words to me.
She says, I know you feel like you lost a son, but your dad lost his son. And if you hadn't been there, you would have overshadowed him needed to heal. And accept that truth. And it's hard.
Maybe that's a hard pill to swallow.
Hard as that pill, it's still stuck. It's still stuck. But truer words had not been spoken at that time. I can't fuck with it. I feel like I lost a son, but he lost his child. And then it put me in a position to where I had to look at what he might be going through.
Right.
Because I'm the firstborn, so I was 8 years old when my parents split and divorced. Okay, the divorce didn't become final until 1980. I'm 10. My brother was 7. Okay, my sisters were 3. Okay, they have, that barometer they don't necessarily have. Now, my brother and I, we knew daddy. Okay, but then looking at it from my father's point of view, all that time in between that he didn't patch up with his kids and all whatever he got to deal with between him and God,
Right.
I
He
started to
needed to
look
do
at that
that.
a little differently.
Yep.
Because when she said that, he lost his child. And that's I say this all the time. I don't have any biological children, but I know that's a space. The feeling that I felt with my brother, if it's worse than that, I don't wish that on nobody. I don't wish that on nobody. And then I had to put that into perspective of what that is for him. Because now, he has grandchildren. Now he sees O2, he sees. Okay. But the other 2 girls, he knows them or whatever. But now he's a great grandfather. They have children now. The baby, all of that that he's got to deal with as a man who lost a child and hasn't been an active part of the child's life. All of that, wow. And so it helped me to see things a little differently, but that pill was nowhere near easier to swallow.
Because I
And
know
I
I
had
was
to.
mad as hell too. Like, I missed my grandmother's funeral by a couple hours because, first of all, they lied. They didn't want to tell me
Yeah.
that she had actually died. Then by the time we got the Red Cross thing to be able to come home, then we got stuck in London. So when I got there, and then I was in a really crazy state. I was 7 months pregnant with Cole and
Mm.
gunning for my biological mother because in my mind it was her fault.
Right.
So I was on the warpath. I'm like,
Right.
I'm on my way, and if she there, whoever her, I'm about to tear it the fuck up. Like,
Right.
and when I got to be with my grandfather, and I was able to cry with my grandfather, and I was like, like, Papa, that's not fair. It's
Right.
not fair because even when I told y'all I couldn't come home to this day, why would y'all still make the funeral on that day?
Okay.
Anything can
Girl,
happen.
you
So
know
I was
what? Oh,
pissed.
wait a minute. Because, do you know now this I know this is me being selfish because nobody knew how long I was going to be in the hospital.
You wanted them to wait.
You know, and I'm sitting up there saying, okay, they're gonna hold up, they're gonna wait until I get out of here. But here at that time, we didn't know what the fuck was going on with me. Because like I said, I'm still tubed up. They coming up in here, girl. Listen, they had to sit down there and they had to give me an enema because I wasn't relieving myself.
Right.
So they had to give me an
Get
enema so that
everything
I could.
out.
Girl, I had 2 pounds of shit up in me. Girl, do you hear
Oh
me?
my God.
2 pounds. They had weighed me on the table, in the bed because you have to weight the scale on the
Stay on the
bed.
bed, yeah.
Girl, after they got through and carrying on, I was 2 pounds lighter. I said, "You have got to be kidding me!" But that's because I couldn't. So my body was going through everything at that particular time,
Yep.
and yeah, I held on to. I never said that out loud. I was pissed for a
Yeah.
minute because I was like, "What is this? What is this?" And when
It's a
Sarah told
feeling
me
of us
that,
not wanting to be able to say
but
goodbye, but we did
right,
already. Just like you said, they didn't get to read my words, but Meech, he heard them when you wrote them.
yeah. But here's the other thing too, and this here goes to my personality, and that personality was a trait is wanting to fix it. You know what I'm saying? Wanting to go in and fix it. But I had told my sisters because when all this went down, I knew my mother was out of it. Okay. And the thought of that, I'm glad I wasn't there to see her break, because that would have just annihilated me.
Exactly.
Because, I'm a crybaby anyway. My mother just stump her toe and start. If tears roll down her face, I'm crying. Ooh, mama, what's wrong? I'm there. So I know that would have just completely just obliterated me. At the same time, I know I told my sisters that I got both of them on the phone together. I said, y'all listen to me and y'all listen to me very well. Okay. I said, Sharon is his wife. She put up with all his bullshit that we didn't. Whatever she wants,
what she wants
goes. I said, if y'all better not have shit to say about it. Do you hear me?
His wife.
And she said that both my they said, okay. I said, no, I'm not playing. I would get up. I come. Oh, here, because and I said, let her handle this. Okay. I said, and knowing her like we know her, she's gonna give us, our
And the
room and
other
care.
thing is, they can't, if they start doing that, that causes conflict, which is more stress on your mother.
Exactly. So
they can't do that.
we all, we had made that agreement and things, and so that's a come. When she had did the obituary, she called me. Sharon called me. She said, Big Bruh. She called me Big Bruh sometimes. She said, Big Bruh, or Michie. She said, listen. She said, I got space for you. She said, but we don't have enough room because I didn't have a lot of money. I said, do what you got to do, baby. I said, she said, I can make an insert or something. I said, just do what you got to do. Okay. If it don't make it, I said, just make sure you get read. So I had wrote it, and then my mother wanted to hear it. So Mama made me read it to her over the phone.
So the people who needed to hear it heard it. Your brother
Mama
heard it
made
when
me
you
read
read
it.
it, and your mother heard it because you read it to her.
Right. So I read it to her, and she got quiet on me. I said, Mama, you all right? She said, yeah. But it was one of them days years, And I said, okay. So that was that. And I get this from my best friend, because he's one who believes that anytime somebody passes, it has to rain. Okay. He said because he believes that that's God's way of saying that heaven has opened and allowed him in. Baby, the day that I had called, the day of my brother's funeral, it was storming so bad in New York. It was storming. Okay, I mean, and a hard raindrops, because it was. I'm looking out the window and I couldn't see nothing. Now it's already 4 a.m. and it's dark, but I'm seeing nothing but fog and raindrops, and that gave me a calm. I said, "Well, damn, did heaven just bust wide open, honey?" Because my brother, okay,
Hey.
and that was a calm for me, you know. Uh, but yeah, so today, like I said, it's 8 years. But then Little Meech's just yesterday, I just was not ready because of how my brother passed. He passed like on the wee morning hours. It was like 2:30 up in there at the end. The bar was closing. So he was taking the trash out. So technically it was still the 20th as we see it. But after midnight, it became the next day. So anytime the 20th comes, it's that So I said my family ain't gonna be together until Monday. Where we can actually have that exhale moment. And I know my sister-in-law, I don't call her on the day because I know she processes differently, you know. And I do that out of respect for her, because we already know what it is. And now you talk about her husband, and it's 8 years, and my sister-in-law, honey, it's still fresh. Okay, it's still fresh. My mama, that's her son. So I don't know. I can, I worry about it. So and versus saying, "Mama, you all right?" Mm-mm, mm-mm, because I know what the feeling is. You know, no. Let me change that.
You know her feeling. You know what your feeling
I know what
is.
my feeling is. Okay. So yeah, and this, that, and the other. So it has just been a weird ass weekend. And then, like I said, on the 18th, T would have been 55. So, wanted to celebrate her birthday,
We
and
can still
because I know
celebrate her birthday. And
she
we
would
can
have still,
still celebrate it.
oh, yeah, I know about still doing it. And we did last night.
Last night, honey.
The thing of it is, knowing her, she would have done this big old cookout of kids because she'd have called me, here's what you're doing. Now, I'm cooking, I'm cooking, right? And she'd have done this big ass spread. And if I wouldn't have made it, I'd have been over there today to get the leftovers because she always tells me, you got to come over here and get this food up out of here. So it would have been that. So this particular thing here, and like I say, and I'm going to keep saying this until me and the Lord meet each other face to face. And that's in about another 85 years, children. 85, yeah. So,
Speak
yeah,
that into existence right
honey,
now.
we've already had,
Every day.
we've discussed that, I've signed the contract,
Okay. All right.
and things that I don't have a copy of it yet.
Yeah, like we just gonna tell him what to do. But
So
look,
I don't,
because look, remember I said, so that was the first thing. The first thing was you wasn't supposed to be there. That was something I had to learn to accept. I had to get Keisha to learn to accept it with Jackie, with my aunt and mother. And I just wanted to make sure that you still accept that. Because you know what else, real quick? Do you know they took pictures of my grandmother in the casket? And remember, we still had the cameras, baby.
right.
None of them came out. None of them. My grandfather said it was not meant
Meant for
because
you,
he said it wasn't meant for you.
girl.
He said because I took them for you, and when they went to go develop, none of the ones that we took of her in there came out. So that was a confirmation that you wasn't supposed to see that. But here's the second thing. You said, it's just so much, and I did this and I did this, and what else do I do? And Child Yolanda Adams just popped in my head. What do? You just stand. Her, Donnie McClurkin,
Ray
just stand.
McClurkin.
Just stand. Just be. Just let it be. Let you feel whatever you need to feel. Process whatever you need to process. Scream, cry, laugh. Do if all three of them happen simultaneously. If that's what you need to do,
Yeah, that happens. Listen, now y'all know I'm the weirdo, honey. It will happen
it
at the
ain't
same
weird, but we
time.
both weirdos because you know I do it like that too. And here's the third one. Listening to you talk, especially in this particular moment. You guys, if you didn't know, I know we told you before, but Meech is one of the main characters. Actually, he's the main character in 2 of my series. But in Money the Family Business, Meech is the older brother. He is LB. And him and Mook were doing a scene, right? And I just needed it for class. So we know what Money and Family Business is going to have, but we did some ad-lib work. So I said, hey, so what you do is she coming in or whatever, and you getting on her ass about not doing what she's supposed to be doing, blah, 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 blah. And y'all ad-lib this out because you're the big, you're the oldest brother. You've been like the father of the family.
Right.
Each character holds the family together. Y'all gonna make sure because I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna tell E where it is so he can make sure everybody not hard not where sees this. When they went to go do this was ad-lib. This was not the part that I wrote. I promise you.
Did you just? Oh, okay. You're free.
He looked at her and said, something. She said, "Well, you ain't my dad," or something like that. And when I tell y'all, Meech went the fuck off. Daddy, Daddy, I took care of you motherfuckers. And to hear you talk, I was like, when she did it, it was just like if one of your brothers and sisters said it when you were there.
Oh, honey, listen.
Baby, when he let her have it, she said, Mom, Uncle Meech did that. She said,
That was a real reaction. That's what it was because I had a similar conversation with my brother and my sisters.
And it was just listen, I couldn't have wrote that shit no motherfucker better. And I know how well I write. And I tell you, you'll be able to see it when I'm gonna send it to E because y'all know he the Nighthawk. He sent out the signals for everybody. And I'm gonna tell him exactly what point to go to. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all to watch it all because Meech is hilarious through the whole fucking thing. But when she said, "Why you trying to act like Daddy?" He said, "Daddy, I know the fuck you." Baby, you went clean the fuck off. Best feeling, I swear to God. So it's so
Okay.
funny to hear you talk about the family dynamics because that popped in my head. I was like, I mean, I
Oh,
know he's a
honey.
good actor, but that he channeled that from something and it was amazing. It was amazing.
Honey, that was my life, child. That was my life. For real.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me go to something. Buck done came in and Israel. I'm gonna bring y'all up. Let me get these comments right here, and I'm gonna bring y'all right on in. Okay. Uh, all my nephews tell me you just like grandma. Okay. The statement, "No one younger than me." Yeah, that is grandma. Is it? Yeah, because my grandmother she was the oldest. It was 9 of them, and she was the
Mm.
oldest too. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Aunt
Hey, Ro.
Nikki.
Hey,
Hey,
hey, Amy. I
Auntie.
miss you guys.
I'll
I
see
see
you
y'all been.
shortly. Okay, yeah, he done came in. I had to pop out for a bit. Hopefully I'll be back soon. Okay.
Okay.
Take care of the baby.
Yes.
Okay. I say often that I am my mother's child. She doesn't understand some of my reading books, especially online, because she hates computers. Then I tell her, Mom, I'm just you in the computer age.
Okay.
How about
Okay.
that? How
Sometimes
about
they'll read
that?
some of the
Okay.
stuff when you gotta tell
No,
somebody off. She'll get it.
I keep telling. Listen, I have literally turned into my mother, and it's crazy. It is so crazy. I mean, listen. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me tell y'all this, because um, she did this with my dad. Okay, she had her moment because before, and in fact, up until this moment, my mother's rage was basically shoot him on sight. Okay, her rage was so bad to where it was like it became a running joke. We started joking about it, but I knew she was serious because she was like, "This is how come God won't let me have a gun, because if I see your father, she gonna say, I'm tired, tired." And she said, "We're gonna empty the gun, right?" And that became a running joke for us. But I knew she was serious. But that was rage.
Hmm.
I don't know how it happened, and I know it was because of me. Because was it right when the kids first had the babies? Because I think the first uh Diamond and Keenan and Kevin were just born. I don't think Onisia was born yet, because all of them born in the same year. Onisia born in October. I think it was, or was it right after that? Somewhere after that, I had told my daddy to call because I wanted him to get to know his grandkids. He ended up calling the house, and my mother said that she was able to talk with him, and they had one of those pickle squeezes. You know, one of them, okay, nigga, you know what? No, no, fuck that. What we had was then, because do you realize what you done? Blah, 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 blah. And when she told me that, I was like, what? But here's what it was. She said my dad told her that he didn't remember.
That's the same shit Brian says all the time.
Now, wait a minute. Wait, wait, wait. Now, here's where it is, because this is when I knew I turned into her. Because I had the same conversation with my ex, Michael, the dope dealer. I mean, the dope, my first love.
I remember which one.
I sat down there. I found him online. I think I told y'all this before, where I was talking to this guy. I met this guy online. And we were just talking, getting to know each other, but he was telling my story, right? And I said, child, if I didn't know no better, child, I would swear we had the same ex, child, because you telling my story, right? He said, and the boy, I can't think of his name. He said, it was such and so, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, but I said, well, my ex's name was Michael. Michael Hustler Sweeney Jr. It was an awkward silence, right? And the dude said, what did you just say? I said, yeah, Michael. He said, no, say what you just said. I said, Michael Hustler Sweeney Jr. I said, yeah, Hustler is his middle name. I said, ain't that a trip? His middle name was
Right, because he was hustling.
Hustler. And he said, how in the hell does this happen? I said, what do you mean? He said, out of all the people online to sit down here to try to hook up with or introduce her, how is it that I find the one somebody that is the ex of my ex?
Yeah.
I said, you can't write this shit. I said, what the hell is you talking about? He said, I'm telling you, that's who I'm talking about.
So you did the same thing.
We shared the same story. How about when we had the same man? Okay. So so so
Shit. Sorry, y'all. I
so
got
he told me how to find Michael, right? Because he online and this, that, and other, blah, 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 blah. So I found him because I was like, I hadn't talked to him. It'd been like 15 years at that point. I was like, I ain't talked to him, whatever. And let me do this. So I call him, and he didn't know who I was at first. Because, I'm like, hey, this is me. And he's like, oh, hi, blah, blah, blah. And I knew he didn't know who the hell I was.
Just got away.
And it was pissing me off. I'm like, how the fuck you don't know me? Right? And then I called his name. I said, Michael Hustler Sweeney Jr. He said, Demetrius. And I said, oh, now you get it. He said, you are the only someone who calls my name like that. He said, out of everybody, he said, you are the only somebody who calls my name like that. I know who you are. And I said, oh, okay. So now you know who the fuck I am, right? So now I'm finna get into it. I'm finna get into it. I'm finna have my neck rolled like you old son of so-and-so. You got that. I did not feel like a half a penny waiting for change when he sat down there and told me that same shit that he didn't remember nothing.
Brian has done the same thing to me on several occasions about several things that has hurt me to my core.
Yeah.
And he swears he does not remember.
Michael told me, he said, I'm not going to say that I didn't do it. He said, because the way how you're telling me this with the anger and the frustration in your voice, I know I did it and I hurt you. He said, but I'm going to say this. He said, everything that I did at that time, I was in my addiction, and everything I did was to get me to my next high. He said, so, and then he said, I don't remember it, but I hurt you and I'm sorry. And just shut me down. And I'm sitting up here looking at the phone. I'm like, 15 years I done held this shit. And you just shut it down with that.
Been on the tip of my tongue
yes!
for 15 years.
I called my mama. I said, girl, wait a minute. This is the second time. Same man. I'm going to call her 2 times. I don't talk about my mom about man problems. That's awkward. So I don't, but girl, that was the second time about the same motherfucker. Her mama, girl, wait. Okay. This fool just said he don't remember shit. What?
I don't know what the hell that
girl,
is.
I
don't know what that is, but yeah, Brian does the same damn thing. And I'm like, it's the things that was the most hurtful. How the fuck
you don't remember
forget the most hurtful shit?
But then I had to look at me because I had to realize at that point that Michael had become my barometer to how I was looking at other men. He was my barometer, and and this, that, and the other. So that there was how I had to look at stuff, and then that's how I had to learn how to change this. Honey, I was what, 30, 35, 36, yeah. Up in there, child. Yep, that's what it was. Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute, what is this? Girl, no, you ain't.
Hi, Miss Essie.
That's my mama, y'all. She says she listening. Well, hey, Mom. I remember your mama going through emotional turmoil trying to figure out where to go during that time. Yeah, child. Okay. I know how you feel. It's the anniversary of my brother's death just passed on the 12th. Okay, I'm right there with you, baby. I'm right there with you. I'm finding myself turning into my mother every single day. In fact, me, my mother, and my grandmother, we all look alike. Well, okay, how about that?
My mom and my
Wait a minute. She said, you all the rain. Look, the rest of the family felt the way about him also. Really? Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, child, I told y'all at my play back in 2014, honey. That was a summer day. We were there in July. That was hot. We in downtown Detroit. Ain't nobody got on coats or nothing. It was hot on a Sunday afternoon. My dad came with Christine, my aunt Pat, my uncle Kenneth, whose birthday I'm talking about, and his wife Sadie. Okay, All of them were there on the same day. Okay, on the same day. They were outside waiting for the theater to open. I come outside because I saw them. I said, "Oh, they're here, baby." You could. Ooh, when I tell
Cut
you,
it with a knife.
baby, the tissue was so motherfucking thick you can cut it, and then you felt all the coldness. Baby, you would have swore a gust of gala wind had blown over a nice big old block of ice. That's how strong that. And at the time, I was 44 at the time. I said, I'm 44 years old, and y'all still mad like that? My God, today. Yeah. Okay. Oh Lord, and X other X, child, the world nearly exploded. Exactly.
Okay,
That's
so
what I
you
said, Princess. I was like,
imagine.
how in the and I said, my life, child, I have never been a simple anything. My life has always been a grand production. I have just been a production, and I've come to accept that. Okay, I'm just a production. How? How? Out of all the people on the damn little makeup on the little site, child, I find my ex's ex, and we share the same exact story. Hello, bad. Mama meet you in the house.
Right.
Your daddy and mine. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. I heard stories, honey. I wasn't
I'm
around
a
a lot,
y'all.
but
I'm
I heard
a.
stories.
I told my kids we had told this story when they got older. Like I don't.
Oh, okay, yeah. You did come, yeah. You said I came to the second show, so I missed the interaction. Yeah, you came to the evening show. They were there for that matinee, girl. Yes, they were there for
Y'all,
that
one
matinee.
time I remember I got so fucking mad at Brian for not doing something he was supposed to do for the kids or something. This was after we were separated, and he came to the door, and I was so infuriated, and I felt like every time he had made me mad, he had on this yellow Ralph Lauren polo shirt every
Mm,
time. And that one particular time, seeing the shirt sent me off. And I ripped the shirt off him. And I was like, and I hate this fucking shirt. And I ripped. Y'all know he get on my nerves even right now. But I promised myself that I was going to buy him another yellow Ralph Lauren shirt because that
child.
shit. And that was when the kids were small, y'all. One night, I ain't even had not one teenager yet. My other one
Wow.
ain't here yet. And it stayed in my, and it was like, seeing that shirt set me off because I was like, what the fuck is it about this shirt? Because every
Right.
time he got the shirt on, I'm ready to damn near kill him. And I really ripped it off like it was some TV shit. I remember it like it was yesterday, standing right there saying, and I hate this fucking shirt. And he had to
Okay.
walk away with looking like he had just ripped it off like the whole.
Girl, let me bring in the fellas. I
Okay.
got the Buckster right here. Come on up in here.
Hey, hey,
And we
hey.
got nephew Israel up in here.
Hey, nephew.
What's
Hey,
going
Uncle
on,
Me,
children?
Hey,
How
Aunt
y'all
Nikki, hey,
doing? How
Eric, how
y'all
y'all
doing?
doing?
What up,
What's happening,
dog?
baby? Listen, y'all
How y'all
talk. Let me go.
doing?
Let me go refill my cup. I'm gonna just take my camera off. My mic is still on, so y'all talk. Let me refill my cup.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I
Hey,
have a room for a
y'all.
minute, y'all?
Yes, you can.
I've
Absolutely.
Ooh,
been
Go ahead.
doing said what I said Sunday for about a month now, and don't ever get to the one thing I wanted to talk about
Oh shit.
of vital
He
importance.
he say that did you let me is me saying we starting it now or you just want to just go ahead so they don't get lost in the sauce?
I want to go ahead so don't get lost in the sauce.
Okay,
Keeping
well
in
you
mind
go
that
right
I'm
ahead, brother. Go
off the
on.
head at 11:20 because I still owe myself 631 steps to get my
Oh
steps,
shit.
and I will be doing that.
My back
That
keep
being
pinching. I
said,
need to lay down. But
people,
go ahead.
we are in the midst of the pandemic. We know that. But what I need people to understand is we missing something of very big importance that's going on out here in the world in the process of this. And I need to make people aware of that very thing. We are here in 2021, and there are things going on every day that's not getting the attention that it rightfully deserves. And I talk about that in regards to this. Women. Women are not getting their just due in the society at the moment. And that needs to be done because if not for that, I think we'd be far worse off than we would be right now. Let me explain myself. And that actually leads to what I'm really getting at. We are here in 2021. We have a new president. He is working towards making things better. He has a big job ahead of him, true enough, but already we are starting to see signs of improvement. At least I think so. We are basically about to be in the process of getting this stimulus. It will happen. I'm about 90% sure of it at the moment, barring any other craziness, the Q9 people and all that other mess that's out there. It is going to happen. Understand that we have a new president for one very important reason, because of women. Women were the majority of people that voted here in the United States in 2020. In all of the major cities where the counts was questioned, the counties where these lawsuits were put out, most of these cities, as you know, had people of color in them. The Philadelphias, the Detroits, the Milwaukees, the Atlantas of the world. Most of the people who voted in these cities are women of color. Women of color. The reason why we have 50-50 in the Senate right now is because most of the people who voted in Georgia, the majority of them were women. The person who led the charge to get those people to vote was a woman, Stacey Abrams, who I really
Abrams, baby.
wins the Nobel Peace Prize. She is very deserving. Our vice president, the first ever female vice president, a woman. Because remember also that when that vote goes down in the next couple of weeks and we get that stimulus and extended unemployment and all that, it won't be because we now have control of the Senate, because in the end it's still 50-50. It's because the deciding vote, that vote goes to one Kamala Harris, a woman. Okay? First of all. Second of all, when you look at many of the major cities here, they are ran in some way, shape, or form by either a woman who is the mayor, a woman who is in charge of the electorate, a woman who is in charge of the Secretary of State, or a woman who is the governor. And most of these states that have that at the infrastructure tend to do better than some of these other states do. Because right here, our governor, although people do not agree with some of her things, that she is keeping us safe. Our numbers are way down, and it's very much because of the things she has implemented. When you look across the world, most of the countries that had very little COVID situation or dealt with it a lot better than the United States, women were in charge of those countries, the Swedens and the New Zealands and such of the world, to where you can go to those countries now and they ain't even worried about wearing masks and stuff because they had no severe COVID outbreaks, because the people who were in charge of said countries were women. Women have to start getting it to remember. We shouldn't even have to go through those last 4 years because the majority of the country voted for somebody named Hillary Clinton, a woman, not that fool Orange Clown. But because of the doggone electoral college and what have you, we had to contend with that foolishness. And think about how much worse it had been if not for one woman, that woman being a woman in charge of the House of Representatives, Ms. Nancy Pelosi, and putting that fool in check, even though he did not get properly dealt with in the impeachment, because the impeachments went on. Think about how much worse it could have been if that would have went unchecked altogether. Who knows what other mess he would have caused if they had not at least took those steps to deal with that. Also, people, there's other things going on every day out here. You got the first female who refereed the Super Bowl this year. First female general manager in baseball. You have the first female assistant head coach in the NFL. You have the first woman to actually coach an NBA basketball game. All that has happened in the last 6 months, and it's not acknowledged to the extent that it should be because of that. We had the first woman who played in a Division I football game in the top 5.
That's right. That's right.
All these
Divine
things happen,
feminine, honey.
and they have been fly by night. Now, here's the problem, okay? For all the things that women are starting to accomplish, there's other things that need to be corrected. We have the Fortune 500. How many women are CEOs of Fortune 500 companies? Do you know? I know.
How many is it?
One.
Damn. I thought you was gonna say at least 5.
One.
Crazy.
And it's less than 20 people of color that are in charge of major corporations in the corporate 500. Okay, those are things that need to be corrected. But keep in mind that day is coming, y'all, because the majority of the country are women. Okay, when you look at the total population, there's more women here than men.
Well,
You know, I say do your research. When all is said and done, sometime in the next 4 to 8 years, we will probably have and should have a woman president. Because in the end, if we want to get some of these things resolved, the same people that run your household every day, and 9 times out of 10, those cases are not men, but a woman. If she is able to run your household and to raise your punk ass, then she should be good enough to run your countries and run your companies and everything else. So that being said, folks, another thing I need to get into, we still are in the middle of the pandemic. We have lost almost 500,000 people in the United States alone. Okay, that's more than people that we have lost in both World Wars and Vietnam. So that being said, we losing people every day. And some of those people we losing are our loved ones. And some of them are the people who brought and gave us life. If you find yourself in a place where you are not dealing with your mother for whatever reason, and it's something that can be resolved,
better fix it.
Take the time to fix it. Because I never hope to see a day like someone that I know recently, and they cry every day because their relationship with their mother was so terrible, and it was too late to say what you could have said. Because keep in mind, some of us who've had to wait quite some time to see our mothers are very fortunate that our mother is still here to have that discussion with. So think about that.
Man, I'm so happy for him.
And talk about the people that he missed and wish they were still here. The person that gave you life, I don't care what the hell transpired. In the end, you still have to give them that respect because you didn't have to be here. You did not have to be here.
Yo, so I'm sorry, I'm putting my avatar on because I need to lay down. My back is pinching. But I'm just putting I don't want y'all to see me laying down, but I'm staying in.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my 2 cents of it. Thank you very much for the platform. I appreciate it.
Well said. Thank you,
well
sir.
said, but let me flush this out just a little bit.
Go right ahead.
Because I want you're passionate about understanding the woman's vote and the year of the woman and what women have been doing. Let's flush that out. Because I want everybody to hear exactly where you're going. Because it's one thing to acknowledge them, because we want to do more than just acknowledge what women have done. Exactly what are you saying as far as paying attention to it? What is it that we need to do in order to flush this? Are we saying let's get ready for a woman president? Are we saying let's be accepting of women in leadership? What is it that's the overall point outside of it's more than just pay attention to it? What is it that you want to see?
Well, part of what I'm saying is we need to change our mindset in terms of what we feel is best in terms of how we pick our leaders, how we pick the people that run our corporations, our cities, and what have you. Think about it. A lot of the situations that we find ourselves in our government, if you go through the whole chain of command, it usually leads to older white men.
Right.
Okay. When you look at some of the things that have happened that have been more of a positive scenario, that trend usually leads to female, in particular females of color. Because like I said, if it had not been for the Stacey Abrams and people of her ilk that went out and had people understand why it was so important that they had their vote, then we would not be in the situation we're in. Keep in mind, my greatest fear is that if we had not had this pandemic, we still would be under that foolishness right now.
You know what? And
because the whole thing is not because most people did not approve that message. Remember, his approval rate was always around 40-45%, But
That's
the
right.
thing was, people weren't gonna vote. The
Right.
reason why they vote is because they watched their people die, they watched them lose their jobs, their money, their house, their car, and what have you, and they wasn't having it. Then they watched him come on TV and not seem to give no smirk.
He didn't.
Ryan just talking about it was gonna go away. It's like the flu and all that. I will never forget that as long as I live. And it's actually people out here now, probably people actually looking at my face on the screen that after all this is still considering, after everything has been said and done, voting for that orange clown again.
Yeah, they still do.
Right.
Millions and millions of people. Because for some reason they did not see what we saw. And it makes no sense to me.
No, they saw it. They just
They
don't.
saw it. They just didn't give it.
They saw it. The thing of it is that when it comes down to how folks want to believe, they just for whatever reason we could bring in the race card, we could bring in the misogyny card, we could bring in the social economics card, we could bring in the education card, because I really believe that a lot of these folks are just uneducated about a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just point blank. Because
Right.
I look at the rural communities, okay, those who are in them damn backwoods and shit, okay, that don't get to interact with a lot of city folk all the time. They basically, the rural children live on their own. See, this is why I get upset, because everybody want to talk about the ghettos and they want to talk about the hood and how we as blacks communicates among our own, and it's like a world of its own, and everybody acts as if they can't infiltrate or at least come in to learn about it. The same shit is going on in these goddamn rural backwoods shit, where the houses are 5 miles apart from one another and carrying on. Y'all are basically, your address is a city by itself. If your next neighbor is 5 miles away from you, okay, then hell, you're containment right there. So
Right.
you are the law, you are the police, you are the fire department.
Yeah, because what the hell going on around you?
Yeah, and
Anything going on around you, you did it.
you did it. This is why martial law is real big. And carrying on, or at least these damn militias, they can form these fucking militias because look at where they are.
Right.
By the time somebody get out there to take care of whatever the case may be, hell, shit done already went down. If you look at, let's go back to when our people were in chains and still sharecropping and shit, and they were still hanging us. That was one of the reasons why we didn't have a lot of police activity, because the police were the goddamn neighbors.
Come on.
The police, hell, they go to church together carrying on in these rural communities, way apart from somebody. So if you outside somewhere, and y'all know here in Georgia, there's still some places down here where they tell you don't be out there at night.
What?
Yeah.
Listen, y'all know
Okay.
I did a whole thing on sundown towns. They still exist. But the thing is, where I thought they would be more prevalent was the South, and it's not.
How about that?
So many places in Pennsylvania like that is crazy. Like that, they mean it. They still mean that shit.
Yeah.
Sundown town mean don't have your ass out here after sundown. They mean that shit.
Right. And a lot of that is based on stereotypes of this, that, other, which I'm gonna get into in a minute. But oftentimes, what we're dealing with is just the mentality of I want what I want.
Yeah.
And I'm sticking with it. This is my story, and I'm sticking to it. I don't give a damn. And a lot of those people are one issue voters. Okay, one
they don't look at
issue
the
voters.
big picture.
They don't look at the big picture. All I listen. This goes back when, oh shit, I want to say when W was running for his second term, I think it was, and because he was sitting up there, and because he was anti-abortion. No, it wasn't anti-abortion. No, it was anti-gay marriage. That's what it was. It was anti-gay marriage. And I got into it wasn't completely heated, but we got into it. A co-worker, because he was a janitor, a white boy, he was a white man janitor. I was working at a school. I was security supervisor at a school. Ferndale Adult Educational Center. He came up and he wanted to lay down the law about why he was voting for Bush. Right? And well, you know, I really just don't agree with all of that. And I said, and what else don't you agree with? I said, what else entices you about voting for him? Right. He couldn't give me an answer. He could not give me an answer. And so how our debate got that way, because I said, so off this one issue, that's enough for you to sit down and say, oh, he got my vote. Out of everything else that's going on, that one issue is what you vote. What you said, yes, he got my vote. Not that this fucker don't sit. You don't sit up here and cause the war or went after these folks because you said that's the man that shot my daddy.
Period.
You done started a fucking war because of that. That's personal. That ain't got shit to do with saving the country. You
remember, he was even talking about a draft again.
Yes.
This is a damn lie.
Yes.
You won't get my son. I was ready to pack the fuck up and move back out of the country again. No,
how about that?
Not. Your father did it to my husband. You will not do it to my son.
Boom. Now he's still behind the fact that that's just my opinion and that's just my belief. I said, I'm not questioning your beliefs, honey. I'm trying to get you to look at this from a bigger picture. Because if you say you love this country the way that you do, okay, the country is much bigger than just this one issue. Now granted, this is your issue, but everything else that this man's supposed to stand for, okay, why is it that you forsake all of this just for this one issue? And that's the problem that we had with those who follow the last administration. They are one issue children, okay? And there's nothing that's going to change them because remember, 74 million still voted for that food.
Yeah.
Okay, because for whatever the reasons are. And so now we have to look at that and we have to, this is where we as a people, if you don't like politics, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you, you need to be around somebody or at least get some information so that your voice can be heard. Because see what happens, somebody will take your voice and usurp your shit and then put it onto their particular thing. No, you need to stand up for your own shit. Because see, right now is the time when we need to learn what these candidates are. We are constantly voting. If you didn't like the, I still don't understand how Mr. McConnell still got back up in there.
Sure.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't understand how Lindsey Graham still won.
That part.
Okay? They voted him back in. So it's like, wait a minute. Okay? How? So this is the time when you have to read, listen, get into some of these debates. If you don't understand it, start there and say, I don't understand what the fuck y'all talking about. Why is this so important? Okay? Why is he this? If you don't understand the parties, I'm telling you now, break it down. Listen, I saw a t-shirt. Oh, damn it. What was it? It was something about, I wish the Republicans was such and so-and-so. And I said, and on the back, I need to do a t-shirt. I wish the Democrats were not so much of a big crybaby. You know, because I'm tired of the Democrats crying all the damn time and thinking that the solution is to give handouts out. I'm sick of the Republicans all the time sitting up here saying that they being stingy and we don't want no government in, we don't want big government in, but every time we turn around, y'all talking about what the government ain't gonna do. You say this is a democracy, but hell, what the fuck are you creating is a damn dictatorship. You're creating a fucking mutiny. You're not doing nothing for the citizens at all. You are sitting up here looking out for self. And that's not what this country is supposed to be about. Now, I'm not saying give everybody everything. That's not the answer neither. Because look at the welfare system itself. Now, I'm going to talk about that for a minute. The welfare system itself have created a whole generation of folks who sit back there looking for the check. They're looking for the check and they're looking for them goddamn food stamps. Remember, before they used to sit down, before they started capping that shit, you could sit down, and somebody said this the other day. Was this in Helena's group or Jared's, or was it on the remix when we sit there talking about food stamps and the bitches would sit down there and they would have babies just to get the increase?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yes, that's what I said. I said that.
That was you, okay? Okay,
Yeah, that was
they
me.
was having babies just to get the fucking
That shit
increase
don't
in
even
the
make
check
sense. Like
and in the
people,
food stamps.
that's that fucking
That
mentality. That's so
yes,
crazy.
yes. Okay, it's not even a hustle mentality. How about that? It's not even a hustle mentality because
It's not.
at least if you
That's
was getting
hustling backwards.
exactly, if you was getting the stamps and the goddamn check, at least you was taking the shit and did something with it to take you forward. What y'all do? Y'all got the later. Why is it? How? Somebody please tell me this. How is it that a bitch who gets food stamps and a goddamn check every month, not the disability check, not the disability check, but I'm gonna get on that too, because I'm gonna include that in a second. But if everything you coming from aid to dependent children, ADC or DFAC, however whatever y'all call it in y'all state. Okay, how in the fuck do you got a goddamn iPhone that's a $900 motherfucking
You
phone?
better come on. Come
That
on, preach
part.
Yeah.
about it.
Huh?
Please preach
How in
about
the
it.
fuck do you sit up here and get Gucci, Lucci, Petrucci, and all these other different bags, bitch?
Right.
Come on.
Got
How?
multiple $1,000 TVs in your house,
How?
but
Come
ain't got
on.
no damn car in your name.
That's the bullshit.
You ain't got shit in your name.
That's
Everybody
the
in the extension name.
bullshit. You understand? That ain't no motherfucking hustle, bitch. And that's the shit everybody get. That's what Republicans get upset about.
Right.
Okay? That's the shit. Because they paint everybody with that brush.
Yes.
Okay? How in the
But
hell?
meanwhile, they tell you some stupid shit, y'all. I gotta say this. Like I remember, I was getting stamps. I wasn't getting any money because they, I
Right.
always work. But I wanted to go to this program. You know how to be having a little program
Yeah.
school thing, right? So I figured, okay, I get food stamps. I didn't even have the medical back then because me and the kids were still on Brian's, right? But I got the food stamps. All I wanted to do was go to this program. Do you know these motherfuckers told me you gotta be getting cash to go to the program? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm already doing things better. I got a job. I want to learn some other stuff. Blah 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 blah. Why the fuck do I have to be taking y'all money to take this class? It's not enough that I'm already getting y'all food stamps.
Now I'm already getting food stamps that you
You
looking
just
at me
want to be
down
all in
on.
my
Right.
business.
Right.
You want to be in my business. You want to control everything because they don't control everything as much if you only get food stamps. If they give you money, they need to know every goddamn thing that you do. And I was like, shit,
Because
I work, and Brian was paying child support. So what you're not going to do is take money away from me.
You see this?
Right.
okay.
This is my
Did
Monday.
y'all know? Did y'all know that social service was not created for people of our skin color?
Of
Oh, hell yeah,
course.
we
And it was
know.
on the people, and the
And they
people who
still
was
get
created
more of it than
for
we do.
are the ones who are mostly on social service.
Yes, we
Of
know that.
course.
They are the
62% of
most,
Americans that
yes.
are on unemployment do not look like us, folks.
The people that's on food stamps and get welfare checks, most of them don't look like us.
How about
Exactly.
this? Now
Please
wait a
know
minute.
that.
Please
Let's
know that.
understand this. I want y'all to get this too. Because see, when we talk about the history of the welfare system and carrying on, blacks and other and people of color, I'm gonna separate that because see, I get tired of us being lumped in people of color.
Right. Right.
Okay, because that lessens the blow. No, blacks and people of color, okay, particularly us, and if y'all don't believe it, go watch the movie Claudine.
Come on.
Go watch the movie Claudine.
You ain't supposed to have
Okay,
nothing, get nothing, can't have a man. They hiding every goddamn thing when the
okay.
social worker comes.
And I remember this back in the day because what back when my mother was first told she couldn't work anymore when she first became disabled. Child, you talking about a 28-year-old woman. 28, 29, 30-year-old woman. She got 4 kids. Okay. I want y'all to picture this. I need y'all to get this. Because see, when I think about my mother and I think about her life, I get fascinated with my mama's life, right? Because I think my mother's just an awesome woman for me. But I think about it like this, because now that I'm soon to be 51, I get it. You're talking about a 28, 29, 30-year-old woman with 4 babies who was working in corporate America. My mother, at the time, they called her data. She was a key punch operator. Now they call it data entry and all that old bullshit.
Right.
My
Putting the
mother was working.
information in.
Yeah, my mother was working in a bank. That's the kind of money we were making. Well, she was. Okay. You went from that, a 5-figure income, to now being reduced to your kids got to sign up for the Goodwill boxes at Christmas. You know, you got to go stand in the line. We down at the Confucian Center and shit to get the free clothes and the toys and stuff so that your kids have a good Christmas. Okay. Think about that in the mindset of a 30-year-old woman who had the world at her fingertips. Okay. Who was a self-made woman because, see, my mother's asthmatic. Okay. And we talking about back in the day where the asthma treatments are nowhere what they are now. Okay.
We had to still buy the Primatine mist, remember?
Okay. But no, the very first breathing machines that the home breathing machines, there's a big old thing. Y'all know those accordion like heaters that you get, those portable heaters. Yeah. The breathing machine was like about that size, and you had to take the cord and thread it like you were threading a sewing machine. You had to hook this cord up and hook this cord up and blah blah blah. In order for my mother to take her medicine, because that was the at-home breathing machine. Okay. And she didn't get that until we were already born. And you talking about back when she was a young girl, having asthma attacks, and they didn't know what to do. So my grandmother would keep her home. You know, she couldn't run, she couldn't this, she couldn't that, because that would make her sick. So my mother became a whiz at homeschooling. Okay, and being contained. So you're talking about going from there to when my mother graduated from Persian High School in 1968. She went to DBI, Detroit Business Institute, got her business degree. My mother started working in a bank, and now she done got to the point to where we were middle class, and we were upper middle class family. We were upper middle class. We were the family that every Easter the kids got suits. Every Christmas we got suits and this, that, and the other. We were that. Okay. We were that. Okay. We had the Impala when the Impala was brand new, because my daddy was working for Chrysler, I think, at the time. He was Chrysler, then he went to General Motors. Okay. So my daddy was in the plant. Okay.
Meech. Again, I point out how similar our lives was. My mother worked at MBD. My father worked at Ford. My mother ended up going on disability.
Okay, my mother was at Bank of the Commonwealth then at the time, before it became it's now Comerica now.
And MBD became Chase. So yeah.
And so at that particular time, when she was in between jobs and first got on welfare, yes, they used to come do house calls. When it was time for the case renewal, the case was came out to your house to do the renewal. You didn't go to the office.
Right.
They came to the house.
They wanted to see what was going on.
They wanted to see what was going on. And see, one of the things about us that made that different is that all those white children that's on it, most of the time, if they got a husband, they can keep their husband, and the shit go in the husband's name. It don't go in the wife's name. It go in the husband's name.
Because for them, it was actual help.
Yes.
Help to what they was doing. For us, it wasn't supposed to be help. It was only supposed to be the only source.
Right.
They could still go to work and still get everything. For us, you did anything extra, they want to take everything away.
Now, how about this? And I did not think that was still possible, or that was still in existence, until this happened to my sister, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. My sister, she's on disability in Canada. She gets stamps and stuff for her younger 2 kids. Okay. You know, my sisters are twins, but the older twin, they're 2 minutes apart, but the older twin got 2 sets of fraternal twins. Okay. So her second set of twins, you know, they're still of age to get benefits. Well, what happened during the renewal, because my nephew was still there living with her, they told her that, oh no, you have a man in the house now. And because he's there and he's working, he could sit down there and take care of you and they wanted to cut her off and use my nephew's money to take care of his mama and his brother and sisters.
Ain't that crazy?
So my nephew had to move. He had to move out the house in order to secure that, so that my sister wouldn't it wouldn't jeopardize and fuck up her shit. That just happened 4 years ago.
So many. I was gonna say so many dimensions to that because Mitch, I was just going through this too. Me, who has an illness that does not have a cure. Well, they have stem cell transplants now, but if you're 40, you cannot get them. Over 40, I get it. This is a disease that only affects us people of color, so they don't give a fuck. When I start finding more natural ways to keep my body healthy, to keep me from having to get so many blood transfusions or taking all that pain medication and all that old shit, then all of a sudden, Georgia deems I'm not disabled anymore.
How about that?
Okay, cool. But then, y'all know I'm still in school because this all just happened, right? What Beach, right when COVID happened is when they cut everything off.
Right
there, I think the end of January. So right there at the beginning. So I said, okay, I'm still in school, so I guess I should be able to apply for Medicaid at least. I ain't had that, and I don't know how goddamn long. Do you know they told me because I was 50 and no dependents, I don't qualify for Medicaid, even with my pre-existing conditions. So not only do I have sickle cell, but I have high blood pressure. My high blood pressure is really, people like, oh, you need to change weight, you need to change weight. My high blood pressure be going up and down because of my sickle cell. If I'm in pain, it raises my blood pressure. My blood pressure up, it puts me in pain. It's just really weird. And then that time that we were in school, y'all hear me and Mitch talk about it, that we put on some pounds while we was in school. So then they said for the first time in my life that something I've never had an issue with, they said I was diabetic. So now, sickle cell, high blood pressure, and diabetes. And you tell me I don't qualify for Medicaid because I'm a single woman with no dependents.
Oh,
that doesn't make sense.
So I have to pay to go to the doctor. I have to pay for my medicine out of pocket. Okay, like it's just the weirdest shit. And then the lady did tell me on the phone. I said, I don't even understand how this is. Like, I would have had these problems where I'm from. And she said, where are you from? I said, Pennsylvania. She said, yeah, if I was you, I probably would move back because you probably can get whatever you need there.
How about that? And so, and going back to what we're talking about as far as voting and this, that, and the other, understanding what this is why this is important. Because, see, it's laws like this, every state is different.
Yeah.
And you have to understand what your state is doing so that you know how to fight against it. We got all kinds of people who are in positions, but a lot of those positions, either they get phased out or folks are just getting paid to do nothing because we don't utilize them. You got all kinds of ombudsmen and carrying on. You got aldermen and those kind of positions to where they are there to be and act on your behalf. If you can't, they're the ones that take the stuff to the councilman, to the this or to the that, so that they can sit there and say the citizens are here. If you don't know who the hell they are, if you don't know who they are, I'm saying this out loud. Right, I'm saying this out loud because I don't know who ours are here, but because I work in the city of College Park, I have access to my council and carrying on here. I got direct access to mine. Okay, so I
had to look up all of mine, but I found them.
So with that, even that, and even talking with some of our representatives, your state representatives, okay. You have to let them know who you are. And just because you don't think you're articulate enough, don't let that fool you because they need to hear what's going on. And yes, y'all heard it here. There are times I'll let y'all come up in here and y'all will take the scenic route, honey, to get to your goddamn point. But I let you do it. Why? Because most of the time, this is one of the first times that you're able to talk and be free. And not let anybody get in on it and not let anybody cut you off or this, that, and other. Oftentimes, you've not learned how to communicate on this particular level. So I let you talk. Now, sometimes you will see me say, okay, let me guide you back and let me pull you back here, this, that, and the other, so that we could get you to get to your point and get to the meat of what you're trying to do. But that's the point. So you've got to get out there. This here is real big, children. It's real big. And the power of your voice, not just your vote, it is your voice. And let me, you know what? In fact, let me stress it like that, because some of y'all may not want to vote for religious reasons or whatever the case may be.
And let me address that, Mitch, because
Go ahead.
it's not just about the 81 million who did vote for the president or the 74 million that didn't. It's about the other 62 million that didn't vote at all.
At all.
Because
But
those are the people that's going to dictate what happens next, truth be told.
But yet, your voice is still important.
Exactly.
Because like I said, when they usurp your shit, they hear you. They hear what's going on out there. That's how militias get started. A lot of this shit gets started because folks feel as though, oh, they ain't heard me. No, they heard you, because those are the ones who they're acting on. Those are the ones that y'all mad at the children for busting down the windows and carrying on. Or y'all ain't got to set nothing up. Why y'all looting? Why y'all this? Because those are the children. They're gonna talk about them. They're gonna talk about them like a dog. Y'all gonna say that wasn't the right way to do it, but I'll be damned if those are the very ones that y'all listen to.
Yeah.
Those are the very ones that y'all would sit down here. What we've been telling y'all, we need better policing, but because these bitches that came up in here and knocked this shit down and burned it down, I bet you got police out there now, don't you?
Right.
Y'all so much so to where y'all done brought in the motherfucking National Guards.
Right.
I bet you did it then, didn't you? Okay. Now, the sad thing about it is that it took that for you to listen. It took that for you to listen. The whole thing of it is we got to find that happy medium. So with those of you who feel like you ain't got to vote, to all the power to the people, children who feel as though, oh, well, black, they just using our vote and this, that, and other. Fuck you and all that bullshit. Your voice is out there because you done strung along all these folks to say, listen, don't sell your vote, hold your vote hostage, do this. And all those folks that did that, now what are you going to do? If you got the power to make them do that, where is your political party? You keep saying Biden and Kamala ain't for black folks. Well, who is?
Right.
Where are the people that you got in place that's going to deal with it on this particular level that you say, here, this is the person we need to follow? And don't tell me no goddamn Elijah Muhammad. Don't tell me no Louis Farrakhan, because they're not political like that. They're not up there to make the change.
Well, I hope y'all ain't
in
following
the end,
Elijah Muhammad.
at one point, it was 22 different candidates running for the Democratic nomination. You could have just as easily put your candidate in the mix and had him put his platform out there and do it that way.
You know what? A lot of people don't vote because they feel that their vote does not count. But from watching this election, the Electoral College does decide to vote. But how that works
is rid of that bullshit, though. I do.
They have a certain amount of electoral votes in a state, and whoever gets the most vote wins those electoral votes, and that's how it's counted up. Then if they went by who won by states, Trump would have won.
Right.
Because Biden had less states, but he had more electoral votes.
He won them in the
ballot. And because the Electoral College determines who is president. Yes, it does. But it goes by the votes of each state in the Electoral College that it won. Let's say it was 50 states in the United States. Let's say Trump had got 45 states, right? Check me out.
Right.
But 5 states Biden got, they had most electoral votes.
And that's what it was. That's exactly what happened this
time.
That's
what it worked out to.
That's exactly
because in the end, Trump got more states, but remember, most of the major states where most of the people stayed, let's not count Florida or Texas, but then in any other of the major cities, the Chicago, the New Yorks, the Los Angeles, whatnot, those are in states that Biden won. That is why Biden.
Yeah, those are states. Most of them were not blue before; they were red, and we turned them motherfuckers. So that, if anything, that should have showed that our vote does count. You know what? I tell people,
but it's scary.
It's a just in case. I would vote because was Biden my first choice? No. But I'd be damned if I would have not voted, which makes it be like 2 votes for dumbass.
Exactly.
I would rather my vote be in there just in case it helped than not.
Okay.
You know what I said? Like, we wear the mask. We don't know what the fuck is going on with the mask, but I'm gonna wear mine just in case it helps.
Exactly.
Listen, as far as I'm concerned, it's gonna help until otherwise.
Now they're asking us to wear
Okay.
2 masks. Now they're asking us to wear 2 masks.
Yeah, I've been seeing
Right.
everybody
Instead of
with 2
1,
masks.
2.
Well,
They
at
want
least
2 masks
a
now.
super mask at best.
Why don't just make the mask thicker? Shit.
But here's
Man,
my whole thing is this. Okay, at this particular point, we've got to sit down here. Containment has got to be the goal, not vaccination. Containment.
right.
Okay, that ought to be the goal because we got all the conspiracy theories running free and carrying on. I keep asking folks, what did they treat you with? If you had this old child, I just got over COVID. What was your treatment? Okay. And so everybody keep telling, well, I was on bed rest and they gave me some antibiotics and this, that, and other. So basically, they're treating this like it's a common cold. Okay. Like it's the cold or the flu or whatever. If that's the case, then that's what it's going to be. I believe that I had it because, like I said, me, Nikki, and Big Red, we all had it around about the same time. We all tested positive at the same time. And I know what I thought was a summer cold could have been the COVID shit. Because the only thing that was different was when I coughed, I had pain in my bicep. And I'm like, I ain't never had no pain in my, what the fuck is this? You know? And so when I read up on the symptoms, I was like, oh, well shit, maybe I do have it. But everything else was just like I had a regular summer cold. Now the difference was too, usually I'm over a cold like 2.5 weeks. I think this would have took me maybe 3.5 weeks, an extra week. But my regimen was like I always do, baby. You want to see a dope head? When I'm sick, I don't have time to be sick. So I turn the heat on hell. I get my damn Theraflu and my NyQuil. Baby, I done took the NyQuil first, and 2 hours later, I got a Theraflu going right behind it, honey. And then after I take my Theraflu, baby, I got an Alka-Seltzer Plus in the goddamn purple box.
You better come on, I swear.
Okay. Alka-Seltzer Plus in the purple box 2 hours after that, and the bitch is gonna sleep and sweat.
Right.
Okay.
Remember, I was in here probably worse than everybody. And that shit was no fucking joke. And I
because you lost your appetite.
I could taste, couldn't smell. For the first 2 weeks, I could barely walk. I was in here sweating and acting. It was a mess.
It was a mess.
The
and
third
so
week
because
is
of
when
that,
I was able to get up and walk around.
Right.
And then that's when we finally went and all got tested.
Right.
Well, Red had got tested. Because he let us know, y'all need to go get tested. So,
right. And I was still mad at Smack for that bullshit. Cause nigga, he still didn't go get tested at that time. I'm like, nigga, this came from you. Shit.
Right.
This is a smart disease. It's a smart disease.
Say it,
it's
baby.
some factors that play into it. Like your blood type. Your blood type tells you what you're gonna get. Not what you're gonna get. Well, whether you can be immune to a cold, whether you can be immune to flu, to ammonia. Some people with O positive blood type or
that's me.
O positive, B positive, AB positive. Those are some of the 3 strongest blood types. So if you have COVID, some people are carriers and some people just won't get it because of their blood type.
Okay, but they will be
research
carriers
they need
of
to do with that. Yeah, they can carry it.
But it carry it and spread it. Exactly.
I think that's what Cole was, because Cole didn't get sick at all. She was in here taking care of me. And then it was just like a mess. But let me show y'all what matter of fact, let me turn the camera so I can make it be more prevalent. Okay, so we did this little thing the other day. I don't know if were you in the room, E? We were talking about COVID and the different strands and stuff, right? And people were talking about the vaccine versus the non-vaccine. Hey, Red. So, okay, let's say Meech got it, right? He got the first one. He gave it to me. Then I gave it to E. But E not only got something from me, he was around somebody else. So he got the harder strand.
Right.
So me and Meech think we all right. We ain't getting this shit no more because we done just had it. But E got the next strand. So he gave the next strand to Red. Red got the next strand, gave it to Israel. And now Israel done caught some other shit too. So he got that other next strand.
Right.
So that shit go back around again. So now we're me and Meech and Eric and Red think we cool. We not no more because now Ezra got a different strand and we can get it all over the
right.
Exactly. That's what's happening.
And
So
I
the
always
vaccine
talk
is
about
not
that's the part they're
made
not
for the
talking about,
goddamn.
whether you could be reinfected by some of these other strands, because it only
You
makes
can.
sense that you get the flu and then get a flu shot, but then still get some other strand of the flu. It only makes sense that if you get COVID and you get some different strand of COVID and get infected that way.
Yeah, that vaccine
Right.
is not going to
But
work
you
because that's
can,
not what they
but
made it for.
that's true because you can test positive for COVID, negative, and test positive again, just from
Right.
one setting. I'm not talking about
Yes.
reinfection. I'm talking about you can
Right.
test positive, negative, positive, and negative. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
part they're not telling people, and that's the scary part. Because
And see, then
once
other
something is in
people
your
not being
system, it's in
consistent
your
that,
system,
okay, part
and
of the
your
problem
body has
now
built up antibodies, but
is
it's
if you're
still in
around
your
people.
system.
I got an off
Go
question.
ahead.
I'm sorry, you guys, but I have to ask this.
Go
Do
ahead.
we know a Nicole Dale?
Nicole Dale, not offhand.
Okay. Well, I got one, Meech. Nicole Dale, I don't know who the hell she is, but she has requested $25 from me.
Oh, okay. Well, let's blast her.
It's showtime.
$.
Hold up.
I just want to make sure because it ain't no note with it. You ain't asked me for nothing. I ain't bought nothing or ordered
Okay.
nothing.
Let's have at it.
Hold
$ NC.
Damn it, hold on. Shit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You
$100.
ready, Mitch? NCOLA, the number 9.
OLA.
The number 9.
Okay, and please explain to your nephew what's going on.
Okay, Ezra. From time to time, we get people in our cash apps who just randomly ask people for money that we don't know. So I figured I'd make sure I ask everybody. I'm trying to get the picture to get big. It won't let me get it big. But she requested $21 from me at 9:51.
Oh, that was an hour ago.
Yes,
What?
I don't know who she is. So I don't know if she's one of them people that just, because some people just go to people cash apps and just request money, thinking that somebody might just hit that pay thing.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Am I serious? Is that what you're about to say, nephew?
Yeah, because that happens to me sometimes too.
Well, when they do, make sure you get up here and tell us.
And
Because
we
that's
all
what's
come
about to
together. I
happen.
just requested $100.
I did
Well,
too.
what we do is we go to that person and we get everybody we know to request money from them.
And we make them famous.
Make them famous.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I just did the same thing.
Are you
$100
guys serious?
because,
$100.
and my note is because I'm a stranger and I need my cash now.
Right.
Wait.
Okay.
Yep. We do. Yeah. We sure do.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all,
We
And
should
what
do.
you
No,
y'all
you
gang
don't
up
send me nothing. You don't send nothing out to strangers and carrying on. No, we're gonna stop that bullshit. Okay, and y'all can block it, carrying on or whatever. No.
Petticoat Junction. That's right.
Okay, see that
Hell.
happened to me about
I
4
put
times.
just because, and I asked for 150.
Huh. Okay.
Nice.
How
Wait a
about
minute, that
that?
happened to me 4 times, but it was only $1 from each of the 4 different people.
Okay, so every time they do that, just ask
Mm-hmm.
them for about 10, 20. If it's only $1, just increase it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure did. Bitch, I
And
don't know
instead of
who
love,
you
so we
with.
can get some money also.
Aha. She said. Okay. Come here and say
Ask
ask
for
for
There
1,000.
1,000.
you
Nay,
go.
I
Right
had a
on.
friend ask for 100. I asked for 150. Nay, go ahead. Did you get it? You
Wait,
go
man,
ahead.
this
You
is
asked for
fun.
1,000.
Yeah, that's
Hold
right,
on,
Liz.
give me a second.
You're
Wait a
gonna
minute.
learn today.
Wait a minute.
Learn
Hold
today.
on, give me a second.
Look at this.
This
Risa
is
said, wait a
funny.
minute.
This is
I don't know
funny.
who y'all playing
Wait a
with.
minute. Hold on.
Thanks, Big Derek.
Wait a
I'm
minute.
like,
Okay,
really?
what's this person's name?
It's
Hold on. How
Nicole
do you do this?
Dale.
Hold on. We about to get you together.
Get you all the
Give
way
me a
together.
second.
Okay. Hey, Daryl.
I wanted to let the folks know we were on the comments and carrying on. Okay, this is Q.
Now how you spell it?
So her name is Nicole Dale. NICOLEDALE. Her cash app is $ N, capital N, capital N.
Hold on, give me a
C.
second. Give me a
Okay.
second. Say that one more time on it.
$
$,
capital N,
Mm-hmm.
COLA, the number 9. If y'all can't see, look, I just requested it. Wait, what am I thinking?
Okay.
Bitch, don't play with me.
I'm not getting it. $ capital NCOLA 9.
COLA.
The number 9. Mm-hmm. In cola 9. Mm-hmm.
Yep, in cola 9.
Let me see if I can do this one more time.
Oh yeah, that's what we call it, right? Meets petty.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Pet tea. Mm-hmm. Because it's all about the tea.
Right.
I'm gonna read this. I've always said that Trump supporters didn't vote for Trump because they saw it as the right thing to do, but because they saw it as the white thing to do.
Ooh.
More specifically, the old school white male thing to do. Come on now, Manea.
Network, you better tell it.
Right. Good old boys.
Never meaning no harm. So said the song. Okay. Okay, get y'all pet. Okay, hashtag pet tea. Right, exactly.
Right.
Okay, ping the cash app. Ping it, honey.
Right
yes.
Oop, there it is.
Yes.
But y'all, when it comes to
come on, E.
When it comes to the flu and stuff,
I need you to request $100 or better from that doggone cash app right now.
Thank you.
Send a request.
Thank you, please.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
But I gotta get mine. You gotta get yours.
Exactly. That's right. Like, damn, heifer. She ain't even do like Israel say. The people just one person might just ask a bunch of people for $1. You know, I might feel sorry for you. You just ask for $1 now. I know y'all might
exactly. You know what? And that might be the cute little hustle. Be like, hey, I'm down on my luck. I'm just trying something. You don't know me. If they were, you know what? Sometimes if the children were just honest in the thing,
right?
Yep.
You know.
The hell, you gonna ask me for $25, bitch? Who told you I had money?
Because usually in my cash app, I keep $5 to $10 for just such an emergency. So,
right.
Your story check out. I might go and throw that.
Now, what if I would have saw Nicole and thought that was cold?
Right.
And just hit pay.
Right. Okay.
I knew the look because Cole don't use her cash app. She used PayPal.
How about that?
Nikki, I was thinking about crayons, but I don't see her doing no mess like that.
That's not Nikki Crayon.
No, I ain't think so.
Uncle Meech.
I hope not.
This person black.
Yeah, okay.
See, when it comes to the human body is like a computer. It records stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when you're born, people don't understand. People say, well, you're going to get diabetes from eating sugar. No, it's the way your body processes sugar. It's the way your body processes the sugar. And we're all born, and it's already written into your DNA what you're going to get, when you're going to get it, how you're going to get it, how you'll get over it, how you won't get over it. It's already written. It's a done deal.
Right. Now, you know, here's the thing,
all my life that I was going to be diabetic because I eat all the sugar. I'm hypoglycemic. My body processes sugar so fast it's not even funny. I mean, I don't eat like loads and loads of sugar, but my body processes sugar really fast. And my numbers for my sugar only goes from, I would say, like 82 to like 93. And it stays there. No matter how much sugar I eat.
That's amazing.
Really?
Look at God.
No matter how much sugar I eat, no matter how much I weigh.
And that's another thing. Let's talk about that because most of us and it's not because they're dumb or stupid. Nobody ever taught them. Most people think, well, I don't eat a bunch of sugar, so I ain't got to worry about that. Any starch you eat will turn into sugar inside your body.
Right.
Potatoes, bread, pasta, anything that is a starch food will turn into sugar when it processes through your body. And I had to think about that. I was like, diabetes, like, even though I do know it runs rampant on both sides of my family, I know that I don't do sugar, like plain out sugar. I don't eat a lot of candy. I don't eat a lot of sweets. But from time to time, catch me on a good couple days, I might eat pasta for a couple days. Then I might not eat no more for a couple months. But I guess, like Israel saying, the way our body processes stuff, I might have been throwing my body off the way I was doing it. giving it a whole bunch at once, just throwing the shit all off.
Right. How about that?
So yeah, it's just about the education that we need to know. And I hate that we as a people always feel like when we don't know something that we're afraid to ask. Well, then I'm asking questions. Y'all know me. I like to learn, so I'm asking questions.
Absolutely.
I got blood work at my doctor several times, and he's always like, "Your electrolytes are low." I said, "Because I'm active." He said, "They're always going to be low. They're not going to go up."
Some Pedialyte. Drink some
Pedialyte.
I know. They're always low. And that's because I'm always
Gatorade. Gatorade is too sweet for me. Everybody always say, "How do you put water in it?" Gatorade is too sweet. But sugary stuff is just not for me.
Right.
But what's funny is
I love Gatorade.
Eat a piece of goddamn cake or some.
I love Gatorade, but you know what it tastes like? It tastes like salt water.
Oh,
it's mostly
I just think it's always too sweet for me, no matter what flavor.
You know, I tell a lot of people,
unless I'm sick. If I'm
a lot of people that have like high blood pressure, what I tell them to stay away from Gatorades and Powerades because it's a high sodium content. Nobody ever reads that bottle.
Right, it is.
Okay.
You read that bottle is ridiculously high in sodium.
That don't even make no sense. Because that seems like it would dehydrate you for somebody.
Yeah, either come in the camera or turn on the light because you are awfully dark today.
I'm Eldris.
Red salt is a. Did you know that salt is an electrolyte?
Yeah, I went to medical school. I know. Everything you're saying is got a truth button on it.
When my doctor told me to do a supplement for my electrolytes, he said drink Gatorade. He said your salt levels. I said because I'm drinking Gatorade.
Wow.
Because you know that Gatorade is nothing but salt. Pedialyte is nothing but sugar.
That's so crazy.
Right.
Look.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
My day is always I just switch this one out. This is what I do. Water every night.
The best drink of them all.
Is that better? Is that better for you?
Coffee first thing in the morning. Huh?
Yeah.
I got my Will Smith on. Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, now listen. Let me do this because I have not taken a commercial break. I'm gonna take a small one, a real small one, because what I want to get into. I had this discussion with someone on the line, and it's about the image of the Black heterosexual male. Okay, and he asked me this question regards to. He said he came across something that was kind of old because we've talked about it before about Dave Chappelle, and how he refused to get up in a dress and carrying on. Okay. And he said, well, what is this? He said, because why is it that Hollywood always wants to get Black men up in dresses? I said, not always. I said, but we got a lot of Black folks out there and people in general who feel as though that the image of the heterosexual Black man is in jeopardy. And like the entertainment and carrying on, they always want to, emasculate or demasculate our men and carrying on, always wanted to get in dresses and this, that, and the other. But is it the image that we're concerned about? Or are we looking at the look at what folks may think it means? Because in entertainment, Hollywood is Hollywood. If this is a gig and this is a carrying on or whatever, and I agreed to do it, then hell, why can't I make my coin? And exactly what is the image of the Black heterosexual man? Because is it really an image, or are we basing this on slave stereotypes? Don't answer.
And I was gonna say, but you need to add something to that too. Just put this feather in your cap when you're thinking about it. When it came to acting, there was a time that women weren't allowed to act. So it wasn't Black men, it was all men in the motherfucking dress.
Right.
That is.
And then there's other movies. We'll get into it.
Hold on. Let's take the little commercial break. Okay, I'm wait a minute, let me find the real short ones.
I might have to switch devices. I don't know why this iPad is on the charger, but I guess because I'm on it, it's still going down. So I might, if
you know what, that bothers the hell out of me. No, it's not supposed to, damn it.
I know.
It's not supposed, if you charge it, it's supposed to either remain or go up. It's not supposed to decrease.
It's been going down.
Yeah, I can't stand that shit. My
So as
phone
soon as you
does
go
You
to
that.
might
commercial,
need a
I'm going
new
to switch
cord
devices.
on, Nikki.
So just put me back up, huh?
You might need a new cord. You
I
might
just
need a
got
new
this one.
cord.
I just
No,
got this one. These
it
are
might be
all
the
new.
port. Yeah, it's the port
The
itself.
iPhone, well, the iPad is brand new too. So when I cut
Lord.
it off, it charges like that.
Right. Okay.
Because I got a fast charger and everything. So if I cut it off, in about 15 minutes, it's gonna be full. But
Okay.
something about while I'm using it, if I let it get down past like 10%, which is what I did before I put it on the charger, so it won't. So when you go to commercial, I'm about to drop down, and then I'll be in backstage. Just pull me back up on the other one.
Okay, that's cute. We'll be back in just a few moments, everybody. Everybody.
Hey! What you doing back here? Mufasa! Say it again! Feel right in his...
I've just discovered that I may have a son here in this land.
How much child support is she getting from?
The king pays no child support.
No child support for 30 years and you came back? You was a dummy!
Hello, I am Hakim Jaffer, king of Zamunda. You are the heir to the throne.
Yes, my son.
He's supposed to be like the prince of Wakanda.
Wakanda is a fictional place.
Not to everybody.
Zamunda is a very real nation.
I don't need no handout.
Wait a minute.
All right, I'm gonna pack. Okay,
Presenting King Akim's son from America.
And my mom's.
And his mom's.
Children, this is your brother.
Hey, Quine. I'm sorry I slept with your man.
This happened before we even met.
It's not like you're the first man I've ever been with.
What did you just say about the other men?
Coming to America, now it's coming to me.
I always thought that Mika was going to be queen.
A woman isn't allowed to rule Zamunda. It's the law.
Did it ever occur to you that Mika wanted to be your heir?
Would you dare banish me from my own bedroom?
How you doing, Hakim?
I'm getting it from everywhere. I have upset my family.
You must be strong.
And General Izzy would love nothing more than to take over Zamunda.
Raise it higher.
I'm a king,
Put your hands together.
I like that.
Say it again.
give me all. It's a party over here.
I must admit, your style is foreign to my kingdom, but is impressive.
That's right. There you go. Let me hear you say, hey, ho.
Hey, ho!
No, don't do that. That's his mother.
Oh, don't you say it.
No, not to his mother.
I'm a king, I'm a king, I'm a king.
Almost ready to become a prince.
Almost.
It is time.
Ceremonial circumcision.
Bring forward the royal machete.
Machete?
They're gonna sharpen your tool, nephew.
Coming to America, now it's coming to me. I'm a king, I'm a king, I'm a king.
Have you tried Big Rob popcorn? It's a wonderful anytime snack that everyone will love. Available in 3 flavors. Grown and Sexy, which is the perfect mix of cheddar, cheese, and caramel. Sugar Shack, a fruitful flavored mix of watermelon and apple. So delicious and good. How about spicy butter and white cheddar? Everyone loves it. That's why it's called good. All Big Rob snacks are manufactured in a FDA-approved facility and flash sealed for freshness, safety, and worldwide delivery. To order, call or text 937-367-8650. That's 937-367-8650. Or contact Big Rob via Instagram at Hey Big Rob. As the holidays approach, take advantage of the holiday special. Purchase more than 2 bags and receive a free CD. Call or text 937-367-8650 to place your order now. Big Rob Popcorn, the perfect snack that you will love. It's so delicious.
I am Audrey Jackson.
I'm Greg Jackson.
On February 19th at 4 a.m., a gun was used to take my son from me. You know him as Pop Smoke. We call him Shar. Because of gun violence, I'll never see my son run up the front of our steps, taking them 2 at a time. He won't ever take my hands again and dance with me. He won't come into my room and muscle pose in the mirror. Gun violence destroys families. It must stop.
The views and opinions expressed here on Dishing Tea TV are strictly those of the hosts and guests of this program. They do not reflect the views and opinions or governing actions of any of the sponsors or affiliates of Dishing Tea Entertainment, Artist First Entertainment, Big Guy ENT, Atlanta Hot Radio, Black GDP TV, or Diversity TV. Your viewing and listening discretion is advised.
All right, and we are back. Okay. Now, let's get into this. Oh, this is so good. This is a butterscotch little do I did it. Huh?
You make me hungry.
Okay.
It's all good.
And then he do a freshly butter popcorn. Okay, it's so delicious.
Check for the post. That's all I got to say.
That Big Rob popcorn look good.
Okay, it is good. Trust me, I've had it. It is.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you, the candy with the watermelon and the apple. Child, I was like, oh my God, this is heaven. Okay. And it doesn't take a lot, a handful to get you right together. Okay. The good is fantastic.
Yeah,
and then
what the fuck spicy butter?
How much is one bag cost?
What was it? Go to the website, honey, because I couldn't tell you right off. Because when I had it, I had Rob on the show, and we were talking about it, so he sent me some. So I was like, okay, well, but yes, child. But anywho, let's talk about the image of the Black heterosexual male. Okay?
I'm that baby pappy. Hold
on. Why is it that when it comes down to talking about the image of Black males, Black heterosexual, I'm stressing heterosexual males, is that when it's talked about, we always go to they're trying to emasculate and demasculate our men. But we never talk about the fact that we are always seen as the thugs, the dope dealers, the criminals, the wife abusers. We don't talk about that. And it seems as though those particular images get celebrated often. And we as Black folks feel as though that is supposed to be what a man is supposed to be. Now, y'all have heard me say this on several occasions. I'm a 70s baby. And so all of the men back in, I look to, like, when we had our movies and stuff, the men that were men, the Shafts, the Jim Browns, all them movies, the Fred Williamsons are carrying on. When they sat down there and did what they had to do and presented the image, it was strong, it was dynamic. It wasn't about the whole huff and puff and I can whoop your ass kind of thing. It was, I did that when I needed to. When it's time to take care of business, I'm here to take care of business. When I'm with my lady, I'm with my lady. When I want to show my lady a good time, I know how to show her a good time. It wasn't about all these images that we're savages. How about every time we look at movies and the image of us, there's very little love making between them. We keep saying Black love is beautiful, but what do we always see? We see the ravenous parts, the whole animalistic shit. And you want to say that that's a man. Red and I were talking earlier. He brought up the movie Jason's Lyric.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, y'all know, I as much as I love the movie, I have major issues with it at the same time. Because what that movie did for me, though it was a beautiful story, it showed you that light-skinned Blacks were better than dark-skinned Blacks, because all the light-skinned Blacks were the good characters. All the dark-skinned Blacks were the thugs and the bad characters. They had the evilness and carrying on.
Right.
Or something that they had to overcome. Okay. And even though it was a love story between Jason and Lyric, okay. Even when they did get together, they done did all this fabulousness. Washed her feet. At the river, they go and sit up on the sky and look at the clouds and look at the planes and have a little moment of wishing that they could go here and go there and this, that, and that. They were absolutely dreaming. They were courting one another. This was an absolute love story. We saw them making love throughout the course, but when it came time for them to have sex, what happened? It was if they was uncontrollable because of the goddamn rain, and you go into the store because you dripping wet, and now y'all threw everything off the table, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And y'all, and that was loving. It was hot. Now we all knew it was hot, okay, but that talks to us in our animalistic, rituals and shit. But that's what we have become to accept. Now here's now
we didn't mention Meech. I'm not to cut you off. There was a scene in that movie where they were making love in a flower field, on a wildflower field. They made, but they didn't give that scene the time that they gave tearing up the goddamn room. You know what I'm saying?
No,
they gave that scene a flash of intimacy.
Right. So. Yeah, just a little wave. Now, let's go here. The girl that was at the hairstyle, her co-worker, that had all the braids. That was this beautiful poet. She had all this beautifulness inside. There was a pretty girl, big girl, pretty girl. Oh, she was lovely. Okay. And she had all of this, and she had those same dreams like Lyric had. But they downplayed it because after she said her poem, whatever, she then had to revert back to this gangster image because she got this gangster boyfriend. And how is it that we got to accept that because he's the so-called man, he fuck her outside against the building? But we don't talk about those images of the black man. We don't talk about those images. Everybody always want to go to why they got to put these men in dresses all the damn time.
Some people don't know what romance is. Some people don't know what romance is. I remember it was a Sabbath day, and this was like a couple years ago. I think it was like 2017. My ex-girlfriend, her foot was injured. She had this really nasty scar and cut. So I took a basin of soapy water and took my hair and washed her foot with my hair.
Okay.
And like a couple days later, her whole foot healed.
Come on, Jesus. Come on, Jesus, with the healing hair.
I took my hair.
Not with the healing hair. You better wait. Nephew, don't you work me like that.
That's romance.
Don't you work me like that.
That's romance right there.
So what you're saying is
right.
It's all about the hair.
That's romance. I took my hair, put in the soapy water, had my hair like a washcloth, washed her foot with my hair, and her hair healed. Now I don't know if it was because it was a Sabbath day or it was because it was my hair, but yeah. Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ in reverse.
Don't do it. 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 Don't you dare. Don't you dare. I'ma say red light. I'ma say red light.
Okay, I be good. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying, like.
Okay.
Go, Eric. Go, Eric. Go, Eric. Go, Eric.
The situation. You know what I'm saying? Did it kind of sound familiar?
I'm actually addressing the question. I'm not going there, okay? Because remember, I got to get my steps in. So here's the thing. Part of the problem is that when it comes to Hollywood in specific, yeah, we are starting to get more seats at the table, but we still don't control the big seats. We only control so much of that narrative. So because we have the Tyler Perrys of the world who have that understanding, and even though he used that platform to get to that point, so Medea paid for Tyler Perry Studios.
Oh,
so man in the dress can't do that damn bad. But in the same token, a lot of the stories that are told about our people are not being told by our people. Or in the end, they're not getting the green light for those stories, but they get the quick green light to throw the dress on and do white chicks and what have you. But see, the thing is, I don't understand why they don't talk about when the white people wore the dress, the Tootsies, the Mrs. Doubtfires, the Bosom Buddies, the Rob Snyder movie, was that Chicks Like, or whatever the case may be. It don't seem to be such an issue when they do it. But when the Martin Lawrences and stuff of the world put the dress on, now it's a big, okay, what's going on with all this?
Well, let's not forget about Wong Fu.
But you know what? It really seemed like black men, when they do movies like that, it seemed like their image blows up more.
Okay,
Wesley
now hold
Snipes,
on.
Martin Lawrence.
Now that there is to what the Power to the People children have an issue with, because they're figuring that a black man or a straight black man can't seem to make it on his own merit. That the gimmick of putting on the dress is to say that they have succumbed to or have subscribed to what the mainstream society or the dominant society says is supposed to be the ritual, and unless you abide by this, that you can't make the coin. Okay, so it's almost like calling them a sellout because they put the dress on, but yet they say that the image of the black man is being tarnished. So my question becomes, is it really the image that they're worried about, or are they worried about them selling out? Are you calling these folks a sellout because they put on the dress? Because the image of the black man or the straight black man, I don't see that being the issue, because like I said, all those other things that we just said are never discussed when you talk about the image of black men, straight black men. Because if that was the case, y'all know on our previous show, we showed y'all that Japanese clip. Okay. Okay, we showed y'all that.
Lord, don't y'all listen. Don't y'all listen. I'm still
over there doing. What? Okay, that image is what is being projected because Japan picked that up. Okay, so what else is being projected that's going off across the world that we, since it's our narrative, why have we not corrected that? Because see, if it's the image of the strong black man or the image of the black straight man that's in question, then what is the black straight man doing to make sure that image is being
okay, here's the problem. Okay, let me piggyback off Eric. Okay, all right. Now, here's like, okay, the thing he said about Tyler Perry, and what we know as black people, black men, black women, just as a race. We take the negative narratives and turn them into some type of positive endearment or some type of positive camaraderie, right? So him to build an empire off of being somebody's doggone neighborhood mama, you know what I'm saying? He took that image of that black man in the dress and tried to make it to a positive thing, showing, okay, I'm going to swing this, make it a number one player in Hollywood, because everybody want Medea from the doggone stage to the doggone silver screen. Okay. Then turn around and built this show as if he was some super white man with the checkbook from hell. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you think about the platform and the whole doggone formula started with him in a dress. So what he did was took nigger and turned it into nigga.
Exactly.
No, I like that.
Right.
I like that.
And then
Okay.
turn the head nigga in charge. Exactly.
That's some real shit. Because
okay, hold on. Let me go to this comment right here.
One thing I can tell you about us and Israel, you know what I'm saying? You look like a man of valor. You know, right? You know, I don't give a damn where you put one of us at. We're going to be the one to get off the island. We're going to survive no matter what you do.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? No matter
guys who refuse to wear a dress on a movie screen don't know how to interact with the constant dress wearing jokes after the scene. Most dudes don't wear dresses in normal life. Yeah, okay, well that's understandable. But they took the gig. See, now, let me come to this as from an actor standpoint, because this is what pisses me off. As an actor, there are certain roles I will not do. Okay. Number one, and I've done them, but I made it a point not to play the stereotypical queen anymore, because in trying to get my career off the ground, because they know I'm a gay man, honey, they want to put me into those roles. That's a gay character. But now you want me to be this over the top. I'm like, me as an individual, I'm already over the top personality. Okay, that's going to be natural for me. You know, so what I'm giving to the character is the natural flair of this character. But then I get directed. No, I need you to do, and they want all this theatrical shit just for the laugh. Okay, I'm not the butt of your motherfucking joke.
Right.
Okay, and how about that? Okay, and I've done it in a few occasions, you know, because I needed the gig, but at the same time, being young and stupid, you know, I did it because I'm one show in particular. There was a scene where my character was trying to flirt with the straight boy. Okay, so what the director had me do was to bend over like I was picking something up off the floor to put my ass in his face, you know, for the laugh. Okay. And during the rehearsals, I kept telling her, I said, we won't do this. But that's what she wanted, because that's how she wrote it. Okay. So I gave her what she wanted. I got my money and I was like, okay, cute. But then I had to deal with this because we took this to high schools and shit. So, you know, I'm dealing with the high school audience. Okay. Young, stupid ass kids whose hormones are raging. And, you know, and now they sitting up here trying to hustle. So, you know, they're in the beginning stages of what it is to be cool. They got a little money because they hustling and you know, all that. I got to, now when the show was over, that's what I got to deal with. As an actor, dealing with the audience, reacting to a theatrical production, and y'all know y'all thinking that we the characters. You know, so that there is that. So I have made a vow that that's something that I would not do anymore. You know, ain't no need to be shucking and jiving just so that you can sit down here and get the coin, the real coin, because what you paid me was pennies. I wanted to get because I hadn't been on stage in a minute, you know. So that's what that was. And I said, no, I'm not going to play anything. And my spirituality has evolved. I can play Satan, but I will never play a Satan worshiper. Okay. I can play Satan all day, but I would never play somebody who goes into an allegiance of worshiping evil. And the reason why is because my spirituality is too intact, and I know what that does. Okay. You open up a portal to something spiritual, honey, and I don't need to have all that. And I've seen some wonderful films, honey, where the girl was sitting up, what's the name? I can't think of the name of it. It's a horror film. And the white woman sitting up there, she was a Satan worshiper, praise Satan, and blah, blah, blah. She walking through the house with the candle. Prince of Darkness, show me where they are. And the flame. Yeah, I can't think of the name of that movie. I can't do that. Okay, that's something. No, I don't give a fuck what's on the table. That's not no. Okay, we won't do that. And so because of that, as an actor, we have boundaries of what we will and won't do with our career. If a black man, a straight black man says, I'm cool with this, okay, because they see this as something else, then why is it that the rest of the world have a problem with, particularly the power to the people children, who always figure that Hollywood is making them do that? No, If I'm comfortable with it and I know what the role was or is, let's take Green Range doing Holiday Heart, okay, which by far is one of his best movies for me, okay. If he became comfortable with that, because what he did was he made Holiday a person. He didn't make Holiday just a drag queen. He made Holiday a person with real feelings, real this, real that. That was by far, it wasn't about him being a man in the dress. That was his occupation. He just, like the rest in the dress. He was just a gay man, honey. Okay. So why is it if I'm as an actor and I say, yes, I could do this, why is it that the power to the people want to disrespect my choice and sit up there and say that I'm fucking up the image of the black man or Hollywood is making me do this? Hollywood ain't making me do shit I don't want to do.
Right.
Anybody could
so how
be in one of these roles in Hollywood over the years by choice.
By choice. So how is it that it's destroying the image of the black man? If I'm an actor,
how did you call somebody a sellout? What about the people that are taking these roles that already got the coin?
Right.
So what actually are you selling to?
Right. Well, see, okay, let me make this point that I'm gonna head out. Okay, here's the thing. In the end, it's about whose opinion you respect. Now, on the one hand, you got the Tyler Perry's and the Oprahs who have the real bank, the real money to actually dictate and be power brokers in this thing. And their opinion is one thing, but then you have the lesser people, the lesser comedians, the Mike Epps and people of the world of that ilk that have an issue with the people wearing the dress, but in the end, they don't have the type of cachet and clout to have that discussion on that level because they don't control nothing. They don't control the narrative. You got the people like the Kevin Harts and the people that's actually doing things in Hollywood and creating doors and places for people of color, the Regina Kings, the people along those lines that's actually in these rooms that can be some callers, some ballers and shot callers and whatnot. Those are the opinions that we should respect and understand for what it is because they're doing the doggone thing. These people oftentimes are people that are lesser players, the peons. Not worried about peons' opinions.
How about that? How about that? Okay, hold on. Habiba said, if a male actor wasn't willing to put on a dress, all we would have is remarks of Rambo, and there wouldn't be any comedy. Now here's why I am with that particular statement. Because oftentimes, most folks want to have men in dresses to be comedic. Okay. Most of the time, that's what it's supposed to be. A lot of folks want people to be and to put a man in a dress for the comedy of it. Okay. Not understanding that there is a system to this. And most actors look for making the character believable, not just for the comedy of it, but for the character to be believable. Okay. Let's take Bosom Buddies. Okay. Tom Hanks and Peter Scolari. Okay. Those two men did what they had to do because they were looking for a place to stay. This is according to what the show premise is. Okay. Did what they had to do to get a place to stay because they were in white collar America trying to have a job, but where they were living, they couldn't afford the rent until they went into this all women's hotel. Okay. And so in order to live there, they got up in drag and lived their lives as Buffy and whatever the other child is. Okay. Hildegard, that's it. So because of that, now they had to make these women characters. It was one just being men in drag. They became women. How they function, how they interacted with the other girls, because now they can get their T-clock. Otherwise, they'd be out of a place. So now they had to make these girls. Okay. What did they learn about interacting with other women? You know, and then as you know, what did they learn? Because now when they go out on dates, how is it that they learn? So it's more to it than just the comedy aspect of it. And that there is the job of the actor to pull those nuances out. Okay. And that was a situation comedy. Okay. And that's what it is. That's what all of this is. So if that's the case, then how come the actor just couldn't have a job versus this automatically becoming, oh, Hollywood trying to come down on the image of the black man? Because I'm still holding on to, you don't say anything about all these other images that are still out there. Y'all may say that we got too much of that, but you don't say that image is destroying the black straight man. In fact, we do more to celebrate that. Going back to Jason's lyric, when Tretch was fucking the girl outside against the damn the restaurant building in the back alley, we celebrated that. I was in the movie theater, honey. If you had heard how the little fool said, oh my God, yeah, fuck that bitch, all that craziness. Because we have allowed that quote unquote image to be what black men is all about. So are we absolutely mad at what the image is? Or are we mad that it's something else to it? Because you keep saying Hollywood, and the bigger question is exactly what is the image of straight black men? Because everything that is defined to be the image reverts us all the way back to what slavery is. The big black man who's strong, take care of his family, know how to put it down in the bedroom, this, that, and the other. So
if that's the case, and I'm sure Israel's sitting there thinking the same thing I'm probably thinking right now. How old are you, man?
I'll be 38 in July 9th.
I know he's thinking what I'm thinking then. Okay, I know it, because if that was the case, why they shed no light on the people that played the lawyers, the doctors, the doggone, the judges? You know what I'm saying? Why is the big light not on them, showing that positive activity? Or you got these doggone family man roles that were played. You know what I'm saying? Even with the Fresh Prince show, who's thinking about that comedy thing, even though they had to revert back to putting a butler in the house as a black man.
Right.
Me personally, to really change it, because I took a black man to a judge seat, my butler would have been white if I'd have wrote that show.
How about that?
You know what I'm saying? But it's just that it's like no matter what you do in the positive light, it's dim over there. It's dim over there. But when you're doing something that's considered negative, they try to push all the doggone preface in that right there. You know what I'm saying? You want to put that up front when you got so much stuff that doggone has higher accolades than this man that did a dress scene or a movie with a dress scene. You got all the accolades they got. Why you not putting them front? Why you not making examples out of them and pushing for more stuff like that? Why you not blaming Hollywood? Oh, here we go. You want to complain about something? Oh, why every time it's somebody positive, it has to be a comedy? Okay, you just still sound like a stupid motherfucker complaining about nothing.
I honestly think that the only one who can destroy the image of the black man is the black man.
Facts.
How about that? Well, how people say, I understand your frustration. On the other hand, you're not approaching from a writer's perspective and a filmmaking perspective. This is why there are auditions. Some folks' vibes would match the part. Okay, I'm going to agree with you on that, but let me give you this. As an actor, I am a writer and I am a director. Okay, so having known all of that, I see that from all different aspects. I've held auditions and I know that we are looking for certain types, certain characters. That there is, when we're looking for certain types, yes, that's typecasting to make the role the way it's written. But it's still the actor's job to point out and to develop that character. Okay. Now I'm a teaching kind of director. When I'm working with folks, I want to make sure that we get the most out of it, because the story is more than what's on the script. The story is in the nuances that's not being said.
Right.
Okay. And this is why character development is imperative, so that you know who that character is, so that folks don't just take it for the joke or this, that, and the other. We know this is a situation comedy, just like I was saying with Bosom Buddies. We know that was written for comedy.
Right.
The whole idea was comedy. But what came out of it is that we didn't see Buffy and Hildegard as just two men in a dress. They had to live their lives as women. So now the ups and downs are carrying on. What was it for them to try to go out on a double date when the other girls were trying to set them up? That was comedy in that. But now you can live in your life as a woman. As an actor, now we got to flush all that stuff out. What is this? How do I say this without blowing my cover? I'm trying to live in the place. It's all of that. So when we're talking about flushing something out, it's more to it than just what it is that the writer wants and what it is of the filmmaking process. But all of that comes into play when we look at the whole bigger picture. But again, I go back to, if the actor is taking on the job, and okay, you said the audition process. So if I hired you and said, yes, I hired you to be the actor, and you agreed and we done signed this contract or whatever, then why is it that whatever is on this page, I said, yes, I can do this? Then why is it that a problem? Why is that a problem when it comes to the problem to the people children who claim that Hollywood is doing this, when it's not Hollywood? If I sit up there and say I can do this, because like as we said before, there are actors that that's not my bag. There are straight men who won't play gay characters because that ain't my bag. That's not me. Okay, don't send me no script. Michael Jai White is one of them who says that I'm not playing no gay man. Okay, boom. Okay, those are your boundaries. Okay, as an actor, that's not what I want to see.
Okay, but let me ask you this. $1 million question right there. $1 million question.
What?
He's saying what he won't do after he's been established, but when he wasn't established and he was a star and artist out there trying to become an actor that he is,
oh no, that's
somebody offered him that role, would he have taken it?
That's a good point. Okay, hold on.
It is a good point. I
can see that your writing skill would be more biased towards empowerment movies and not comedy. Not necessarily so. See, I think what you're getting confused is that I'm not saying that a man in a dress is not funny. What I'm saying is that we're going to stretch beyond that, because for so long, people have put a man in a dress to be funny. And it's not that, especially now that we have a whole transgender community who is now establishing and getting their equity in society. We have a whole transgender community now to where most men in a dress is not just for the comedic sake anymore. Back in the day, it was because to put a man in the dress was just the funniest thing. Just for him to walk out and not know how to walk in heels was enough. For him to just watch him, try to walk in heels and he fall over, this, that, and the other.
I don't know if y'all had this when y'all was in high school. But this is a good point about this. When I was in high school, your senior year, at the very end, they have senior weeks. And every day is some different shit that you do because you just turn
all week long, yeah. Are you going to Turnabout Day?
Yeah, Turnabout Day. And everybody, and on Turnabout Day, all the women in the graduating class dress like boys and men, and all the men dressed like women.
Right.
Turnabout Day. And they came to school, and you walked the halls, and it was all about fun, as if it was like a Halloween party type shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like motherfuckers, you got females coming there dressed straight up like football jocks. Got the whole goddamn football uniform on. They dress like baseball. Some of them coming there like pimps. Some of them coming like thugs. Some of them coming there like with full 3-piece suits on. And the whole daddy thing. You know what I'm saying? And it was all about fun. And like you said, the guys there. My homeboy, Jamal Johns, great guy. He was a captain of the football team, quarterback. Came in that motherfucker full cheerleader, head to toe. Fucked everybody up. Stuck out and everything, half top, the whole 9 yards. Okay, that shit right there, it was funny. It was a day. It was picture shot. It goes in the damn fucking photo book. You know what I'm saying? That's the end of that. Did it make you sell out?
And see, here's the other thing too.
Nobody got paid.
Right. But here's the other thing too. Oftentimes when we talk about comedy, the thought of having someone who would probably be the least likely person to do it is what make it funny.
Right.
Okay. But now when we're talking about a script or we're talking about something that's going to be projected, okay, you done got past the funny. Let's take Madea for instance. Okay, we already know Tyler Perry is up in the dress.
Okay.
Okay, at this particular point, Madea that got so damn predictable, you know, it's beyond the funny now. Okay, we already know he gonna say something crazy or whatever. You know, he gonna tell it like it is. He gonna be somebody's mama, give you the pearls of wisdom and carrying on, carrying on. If you go to one of the plays, you know, you're going to get a singer musical concert because he's going to hire all these singers who could act. And so, you know, they're going to have the old school singing and this, that, and the other. So we already know that.
Right.
So now what happens is what a lot of folks have done is not Tyler Perry as Madea. Madea is a whole character now. Okay.
Yep.
Madea is a whole character. I mean, to where now they don't even need Tyler in makeup to play Madea. Have y'all looked at his interviews lately? Everybody always want to talk to Madea, you know, and so he'd be a full beard and mustache or whatever and break out into the character.
Yeah, because he'd be talking like, yeah, and we building and we got these buildings and everything, and then he'd be like, so when you gonna bring Madea back? And then he'd just turn right in the same conversation, turn around and be like, now Brian, don't go asking me no stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And so now the whole idea is that the funny is no longer the selling point. It's now the substance of the character. And that's why that's why I'm saying, no, it's not about my writing that would be biased toward empowerment. It's just that when you're dealing with comedy, the comedy laughs because of the situation, not because of the character.
Right.
Which is why a lot of comedies fail, because they write for the joke and not the situation. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, you got the boy in the dress. So after the shock of that is over, now what? We still got to get through the rest. I got a 2-hour play. Okay. So now what? How do we dealing with this as you navigate it through this show in a dress and pumps? Okay, or whatever, you know, and carrying on. Look at the movie. Oh, wait a minute. What's my movie? Oh shit. TK Carter was it? Oh, what's the name of this damn movie? He's My Girl, I think it is. And he was playing a woman at first, and he was in the bathing suit and went to the pool and forgot to shave up under his arms and had all this hair up under his arms. Yeah. Okay. I can't think of the name of the movie, but TK Carter is playing this. And so then he sent somebody out to the store and said, oh, you know, at that time with the Mount Honey. And they said, what do you need for stuff? Bring me my master. I get him super, you know. So you got little things like that, you know, when you play on the words or whatever to make the comedy ha ha ha. But it's still the situation that it is. He's my girl. Okay, right. Thanks, Lanaire. Yeah, okay, I was right. He's my girl. Right. Okay. Yes, Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon did the dress Something Like It Hot. Dave Chappelle said no way in 1999 movie Blue Streak. He's not funny without a dress. Okay. Yeah, I didn't bring up Something Like It Hot because I knew some of you folks wasn't going to get that one. That was too far back. But yeah, but even in Something Like It Hot, you know, and Tony Curtis was a fabulous woman, honey. That bitch was beat. Tony Curtis was beating that motherfucker. That was Something Like It Hot is a Marilyn Monroe movie. Marilyn Monroe was the thing. And was it Tony Curtis? Yeah, I think Tony Curtis was into Marilyn, but they were musicians trying to get a gig. And the only way they got the gig was to be in this all-girl band. Okay. So they got up and pumped, and it was Jack Lemmon's character who found the gig, and you know, so now they sit up here after this if and blah 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 blah, and Marilyn Monroe was the singer. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Is that where tropical heat wave come from? We have a heat wave. I think that's where that song comes from. Anyway, but yeah, but in dealing with all of this, I just want us to take 1980. Oh, that's the year I graduated high school. 1987. Okay. I want us to take this conversation and we need to expand it to develop that, because are we upset about the image? Have we even defined the image? Because again, whenever I say that the so-called image of the Black man that we have subscribed to takes us all the way back to what they said about us when we were slaves, about us being big, strong black bucks. We know how to break it down in the bedroom. And that part right there always seems to be the leading aspect, because women don't want to deal with men who don't know how to put it down. You know, you got all of this, I'm a strong Black man and carrying on, but the strong Black man is the one who always barking and carrying on. This street little shit. You know, they say, why do good girls like bad boys? Well, why do bad girls don't like good boys? Okay, because the good boys, you know, they always say the good boys finish last, but here, that's the one who you claim is the image of the Black man that we say that we're supposed to have. You know, the ones that are respectable in the community. You know, they go to church. You know, they got some kind of they're good fathers and carrying on. We have that, but that's not what's celebrated for us. But everybody, the power to the people, and those who think that Hollywood is destroying the image of the heterosexual Black man, the only thing they go to is the man in the dress.
That's true.
So, okay, okay.
Yeah, you got
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we don't. Okay. Well, here. Okay. Well, before we go, I want to put something up in here. Because I wrote this up and I want to have some kind of fun, and I forgot what I put up in here. I didn't know. Oh, yes, I did. Here. Let's talk about the game show era real quick. Remember when everything was about the game show? Every time we turned on, we had a game show, honey. The Price is Right, Family Feud, Card Sharks,
Jeopardy,
Roll the Dice, Jeopardy, honey. What's it? The whammy? Okay, no big money, no whammies, no whammies. $10,000 the pyramid. You know, blah 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 blah. You know, what do we have here? Do we think that the game show era would ever come back to television? You know, they're trying to do it now with To Tell the Truth, and they brought the pyramid comes back with Michael Strahan on it. Do we see the game show era ever coming back to change television again, or no? And then here's the thing: how is it that what do we think the next wave of television would be once we get out of this reality show TV era?
Well, the first thing with the game show era, I'm with Israel. That's not coming back. I'm gonna tell you why that's not coming back, because first and foremost, these generations with this sense of entitlement, and you know what I'm saying, and I want it now attitudes. Their attention span is that long.
Well, yeah.
The minute you sat on the show, before the credits are done, the introductory credits come on for a game show. You know, I come on like, boom, yeah, you're on such and such and such and such, and this week we were playing, and boom, 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 boom. By the time they do that, that motherfucking person got them just like this with their motherfucking cell phone.
Okay.
You know what I think? They're I'm gonna say about movies. They're always remaking a movie. Look how many times they remade The Lion King. And I just think they're gonna start remaking shows. There's a whole lot of remakes of shows going on.
Yeah,
I can't think of all of them. Like, what's that? MacGyver, Miami Vice. They're just remaking shows over. They don't have no more material. If you don't have no more material, what else you gonna do is remaking stuff. That's all they're doing is remaking a whole bunch of stuff.
The millennials have zero attention span and they have zero creativity. Because guess what? If you start using your creative niche, that means you start really using your brain cells, and they done smoke the motherfuckers out. They don't have them. They don't do that. They just don't know what it is. If they have had to think. See, matter of fact, perfect example. When we was coming up going to school, we knew you can't put the cart before the horse, right?
Right.
So you need a fork and a knife to cut a steak. We had the dog, so we knew these things automatically, and it made sense. You know what I'm saying? We knew the doggone, okay, well, I need to doggone not stick my finger in this socket, or you know what I'm saying, after I wash my hands, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to be plugging nothing in with a wet hand. All this stuff we automatically knew without being taught.
Right.
These new ones, this fucked me up when I seen this. The curriculum in high school has a whole class where they have to doggone, they get a credit for this. It's part of their credit to graduate. It's called critical thinking. Everything that you and I automatically knew growing up and the way we doggone carried ourselves moving through life that was automatic for us, they got a whole damn class for it. And the class for it. It's called critical thinking. You can look it up. Critical in high school in order to pass.
Yeah.
Now I gotta teach you common sense.
Right.
They take too many things out of school, watering school down. They really do. I'm gonna tell you another thing. Have y'all know what cursive is? I'm pretty sure y'all both know how to write in cursive, correct?
Yeah,
of course.
They took that out of school.
I know.
I went to a doctor's office and I'm like, well, when am I gonna sign my signature? You know, I had to print my name 4 times, and that's the signature.
Yeah, because of the computer era, because now of the electronic signature, you know, folks don't even know how to write their name. You know, with the square, when you go sign a receipt, you know, you have to sign. But even now, there's certain things that you just can't get around. You can't go to a bank and open up a bank account on electronic signature. You have to sign, because if you order checks, you got to sign checks. You can't do electronic signatures on checks.
I just had a fresh high school graduate that somebody you and I both know that sat goddamn it 3 people over from me at the table on Saturday night. Had a doctor's note to fill out and was walking around talking about some kind of somebody signing for him.
What?
Sign it your goddamn self.
No. I watched an LGBT low budget movie. It was based on discrimination and the victim was raped and killed. Sad movie. But what I was looking for was how to be a parent for an ABC kid, one of the alphabet children. Okay. That's how I came across your channel. Oh, baby. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Now, you know what? Here's where it is. And I'm okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get this. Oh, you gonna show? You gonna show? Thank you. We're taught to watch things to make us think. Nowadays, youngins want it right now. That is so true. Critical thinking. What the fuck? It's a weird, sad sign. Parents aren't doing their job, and schools have picked up the parents' fuck up. Okay. Well, Aviva, here's the thing. As far as movies to understand how to parent alphabet children, honey. There's a number of them out there, but a lot of it is through osmosis. You learn what not to do, because what a lot of movies are out there dealing with comes to the shock of the child coming out, and then the parent reacting violently to it. Okay, right. I'm going to give you a couple actually. I want you to start with Torch Song Trilogy. Okay. Torch Song Trilogy is a movie based on the life of a gay man, and you get to see his relationship through his parents and how he grew up. Okay. But not how he grew up, but how he lives as an adult life. Okay. In his adult life. His career is he's a female impersonator at night. He lives as a boy and carrying on. And then you get to see the ups and downs of how he and his mother interact. Okay. That's a movie I sat down with my mother with back in the day, which was funny. Another movie that I'm going to deal with parenting. Well, I'm sure if you have not watched Pose yet, I want you to watch the first season of Pose. Okay. And the first season of Pose is going to show you how gay families are created because parents throw them out. Okay. That first season is going to give you an understanding on what it is to be a parent. Okay. Because you have to understand, when gay communities are created, you're talking about, you know, grown folks trying to be mamas and daddies to other grown folks. Okay. And now a lot of my children, my first set of kids, most of them were older than me. But I was the mother because I've been out the longest. Okay, and I had, been around the corner and then okay. And so being out going to the clubs and this, that, and the other, that I had to put them up under my wing to shield them, to protect them, give them their space or whatever, reel them in, honey, when they got too far out there, and beat their ass when necessary. Because yes, my firstborn child, I slapped the shit out of him in front of his potential boyfriend. Yes, I did at the club. Anywho, that's got to go into place somewhere because I slapped the shit out of his ass. You hit me. Yes, the fuck I did. And I want you to act like you're going to raise up to hit me back.
He did this?
Yeah. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, I slapped the shit out of him, honey.
I'd have been on the motherfucking floor. I'd have been like, yeah, he did.
Okay. But because he wasn't listening and he was sitting up there getting into something that I knew was going to turn out the way that it did, but you couldn't tell his ass nothing, child. And he was so adamant of going home with him that night. And this was before I had my driver's license, so I couldn't take his car. Because he was like, well, just take my car. I said, bitch, I don't have a license. I could have drove it, but I don't have a license. Okay. So they had to follow me home, where he followed me. Child left his car with me. Oh, child was ridiculous. Anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna put that first season of Pose. And that Pose is up on Netflix right now. So you can get actually both seasons, but pay attention to the first season, and that would give you an understanding of parenting from a different perspective, but it would give you something to look up to.
I was just going to ask you what the fuck that was when I was going through Netflix earlier. And I was like, what the fuck is Pose? I was going to ask you that because I know you be on the movie.
Oh, honey, Pose is a television series. Okay, and we're waiting on the Billy Porter's on there. When I had him on the show, that's Billy Porter's show, and so that there, it's a series that is talking about that time of what it is to being gay and carrying on. Now it's going to come from the trans woman point of view because the main characters are trans women. Okay. At the same time, it's going to take you through what it was in the 80s and carrying on of being alphabet children, but a lot of it has a lot of references to Paris is Burning, the movie that came out back in the 80s. So if you've never seen Paris is Burning, you're not going to understand its association. So I'm going to put that down here too, that to look at the movie Paris is Burning, and you will understand about the alphabet culture, okay, and particularly the ballroom scene, because they talk about ballroom and how the kids go out and compete and walk in the categories and this, that, and the other. And Paris is Burning also interviews certain people, honey, who give you this idea of this world and this, that, and the other, of what it is to be them. So it's being a living a life. So I'm gonna have you to start there, and then just inbox me, honey, because see, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but I'm going into a fart right now, but. Just inbox me, honey, and I can always give you ideas of where to run to and how to navigate you into some areas to where if parenting is it and you're trying to understand some stuff, I'm also give you this. I want you to research PFLAG, and that's there for parents and friends of lesbians and gays. Okay, and that there is a parent organization for those who are learning how to deal with parenting alphabet children. Okay, now I will say this: it is a predominantly white organization. Okay, and so there may be some cultural differences because y'all know we raise our kids differently. There may be some cultural differences, but the support is there to help you find resources and find folks in your area and carrying on to where they understand what it is that you're going through. My mother didn't necessarily need that because I think she navigated herself through it. So I introduced her to it, but I don't think she ever did anything with it. But yeah. So PFLAG is an organization. So Google them and you can find some information and stuff out there. I'm sure they have a website that will send you where you need to be, honey, in order to find some information on how to parent a child of the alphabet diaspora. Give you that. Okay. So, all right. That there was that, children. I think we done covered all of the topics that was going to come in today and things of that nature. I want to thank all of you who came in and shared your thoughts and all of that with us. And we look forward to bringing you back on the next go-round, honey. Y'all know tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday, honey, we will be at the Donut Factory and carrying on the second shift, and I'm doing 3 to 11 on all 3 days. So for those of y'all in the Nighthawk networks, honey, who got your shows coming up, I'll be there. Y'all know I will be in the comments and carrying on unless I can get away. Ooh, okay. So having said all of that, honey, what you said? Wow. Oh yeah. Wait a minute. A closed mouth don't get fed. Thanks. Anytime, honey. Anytime. And listen, sweetie. Listen. That's what this is. Okay. That's what this is for. That's what this is all about. And then I want to you have someone on the panel who's the father of the alphabet children, honey. So anytime you can sit down here and understand that. Now I don't know if if your child is male or female, or okay, the L, the B, the G, or the T, okay, or any other letters. Fuck all them other letters, child, because I don't call them. I hate calling all them damn letters. Okay, but you have a plethora of information here, okay, to where we can sit down here and point you in the direction that will get you some whatever help that you need, honey. So that's you want to take us out, Israel? Let me see what you got, baby. What you got, Israel?
And you've been dishing a tea with my uncle, Big Meech, and the big red fella.
Yes, sir.
And today's guest, myself, Israel. And the tea has been dished tonight.
Tip. However.
I love it. Honey, if you love us, tell a friend, honey. If you hate us, tell all of your motherfucking enemies. But do know this. One way, shape, style, form, or fashion, everything that we're doing over here will move forward, my dears. Until the next time that we meet, you be good and be good to yourselves. And we will see each other again soon. So on that note, and scene.